This dude is Han Qian, who just got transported to another world and immediately got to join the awakening ceremony held once a year for students at Thandong Academy. To give you a quick background, 100 years ago, a massive meteorite crashed onto the continent. The meteorite carried countless bug eggs that spread everywhere. Those eggs later hatched into the bug clan, which started attacking humans. Sadly, human guns couldn't hold them off, so they quickly took over many areas. It wasn't until years later that a superior human created the spirit contract technique. This method causes females to awaken the spirit contract form when they mature, while males awaken, as spirit contract masters then support each other. The spirit contract technique truly turned the tide, helping humanity protect their last safe haven. So, you could say the awakening ceremony is one of the most important events, marking the growth and deciding the future of every student involved. Back to the present. While Han Qian was still confused about what kind of spirit contract talent he'd awaken his girlfriend Tiu Mai, actually the ex-girlfriend of the original owner, had just completed the awakening ritual for the blue blood spirit contract form, an S-rank silver cleansing scar, with the rare immortal fairy spirit attribute that never malfunctions. Thandong Academy hadn't seen an S-rank spirit contract in years. No way it showed up today, and it's even a dual attribute. Is this S-rank spirit contract loaded with gold or what? Someone before awakened an S-rank spirit contract master talent. If he teams up with Tu Mai, wouldn't they be unbeatable? Cut the crap. Tu Mai already has a boyfriend. While everyone was buzzing, Tu Mai, after finishing her ritual, strutted over to Han Qian with a superior attitude and flat out dumped him. Han Qian watched her sashay away, secretly disgusted. It's just an S-rank spirit contract awakening. Does she think I'm some bootlicker before I got transported? Before the transfer, the original owner always pampered Tu Mi, even to the point of being over the top with flattery, using everything just to please her. But all he got back was her contempt and arrogant attitude. Han Qian silently vowed he'd never grovel like that again in this life. The guys seeing Han Qian dumped, laughed and joked. Han Qian just let it go. A scrub like you can't match a phoenix, right? You still want to cling to Tu Mi. Plenty of people will come teach you a lesson. Just scram. Han Qian wasn't the same guy as before, and snapped back at the petty fools switching sides like the wind. Aren't you scared? I'm about to awaken an S-rank talent. Tu Mai, standing not far away, overheard and scoffed sarcastically. S-rank. Spirit. Contract. Talent is rare as hell, and you think you deserve it. Just then the teacher called Han Qian's name to perform the ritual. At first nothing happened, making Tu Mi smug enough to start running her mouth again. But what happened next made her regret it. A strange phenomenon appeared. Han Qian didn't awaken an S-rank spirit contract master, but a freaking SSS-RANK spirit contract master. Talent, plus a divine awakening skill for the spirit contract. How is this possible? An SSS-RANK spirit contract. Master hasn't been seen in 100 years. Only top-tier powerhouses can have it. What kind of crazy luck does this kid have? The SSS-RANK Spirit Contract Master is a history changer. That's right, the last SSS-RANK Spirit Contract Master saved everyone alone, turning the tide between humans and the Bug Clan, securing a survival space for humanity. If that powerful figure hadn't died early, we probably would have won by now. While the guys were turning green with envy, the girls quickly rushed over, trying all sorts of flirty moves just to make a contract and battle together. But he flat out rejected every single one. Tianfu Ling awakened the divine ability of the God's Illumination. The great Tao of Unity's God's Illumination can detect all contract spirit info, allowing the contracted spirit with divine nature to awaken, regain power, and restore its original state. If I contract with a divine weapon matching my attribute, the contract spirit's power doubles. The great Tao of Unity is favored by the celestial way across time and space, with no limit on the number of contract spirits one can bind. While Hanjan was studying the system board, Xiaomi approached shamelessly, trying to rekindle their past relationship. Xiaomi's contract spirit is Grade S Illusion. Flower form of blood, jade silver purifying spear with immortal spirit energy that never loses divine nature. There's no info on Xiaomi's attribute, yet clearly visible right in front of Hanjan, leaving him impressed. The insane power of the God's Illumination awakened by talent really lets me see all the hidden info of contract spirits. Right after Hanjan decisively rejected Xiaomi, causing her to get mocked by the surrounding girls. At the same time they gleefully badmouthed another person, the campus queen, Hada Hayuv. You just awakened a grade E contract spirit. Haha. Grade E contract spirits are rare, but trash. Hayuv definitely won't last long at school. No one picks that useless flower vase. Even if someone does, she won't pass the big tournament. Hayuv was hurt by these words and ran off crying, unaware that Hanjan accidentally read her hidden info. Hayuv's contract spirit is grade E illusion transformation type, no divine nature not yet awakened, details unclear. Grade E illusion. Transformation spirits are ancient great divine weapons, but only grade E. Still my talent lets me awaken divine nature. After some thought, Hanjan made his decision. He proposed to Hayuv to form a contract, making her his exclusive contract spirit. This shocked Hayuv, sparked opposition from the girls, and even Principal Chen Guangpu of Qingdong Academy stepped in to advise Hanjan. I get you admire Hayuv, but contracting contract spirits isn't something to take lightly. You're the future of Daha, destined to defeat the Chong clan and reclaim the lost lands for humanity. Hayuv understood the principal's point. Though a bit hurt, she still spoke for the greater good. The principal's right. My talent isn't worthy of you. Just then, Zhao Hu, guardian of Shenlin City, and Xiaomi's foster father arrived immediately, showing off his authority to Hanjan. I heard you awakened an SSS-level talent, bullying my precious foster daughter. Is that true? Hanjan stayed silent. Zhao Hu took advantage, acting arrogantly. Just say the word, and no one in Shenhai City dares to contract with you. Don't be clueless. Xiaomi smugly thought Hanjan was scared now, adding, That's right, hurry over here. Sorry, contract with me now or my foster dad will shut you down for good. Hanjan glanced at Xiaomi and said, Are you worthy too? Zhao Hu got furious, ready to throw hands. Hanjan was stopped by Principal Chen Guangpu. Deputy Captain Zhao, don't act rashly. He's an SSS-level awakener. I've already reported it to the higher-ups. If they don't accept it, then let's just take him out. Trio Ho thought to himself as he laid down the condition. Letting him go is fine unless he has a contract with that useless S-rank spirit, Hayuv. If that's not negotiable, then I'll make a contract with Hayuv today. No one can change my decision. Han Qian replied decisively, then left with Hayuv to proceed with the contract. After the contract was sealed, combined with Han Qian's divine light, Hayuv awakened her divine nature, transforming into her ancient supreme spirit form. Her hidden attributes also changed. Hayuv's SSS-RANK spirit contract took the form of the illusionary ancient divine weapon, a spirit armor with no divine nature, but equipped with the legendary sword, Kam Tam. Besides that, the info and activation methods for the skills that break formations like the Thun Tum Tun Long Tung naturally loaded into Han Qian's memory, making him marvel. Spirit contracts are seriously powerful. In his mind, it synced perfectly with the contract's attack, healing, and support moves. Truly omnipotent, with zero weaknesses. That's the magic of an SSS-rank spirit contract. Once the contract process finished, Hayuv reverted to her human form, leveling up from E to SSS rank. Overwhelmed, she ran up and hugged Han Qian tight, non-stop thanking him. Meanwhile, at another scene, the awakening tournament ended. On the way back, Tiumi put on a pitiful face and said to Trio Ho, My foster dad got humiliated by Han Qian, lost all face. You gotta compensate me so I can chill. He had already contracted with an E-rank gifted spirit, which was useless. Dad's gonna keep making him struggle step by step in Thumb Lam City's spirit contract examiner test. Tomorrow I've already made the arrangements in Thumb Lam City, Trio Ho said, feeling like a boss. Hearing that, Tiumi happily linked arms with Trio Ho and shyly said thanks. Thanks, foster dad. Trio Ho glanced at Tiumi with a meaningful look and said, Thanks, don't cut it. How do you plan to repay me? Tiumi got the hint and followed Trio Ho straight to the inn. What happened at the inn? Well, you can probably guess. The next day, the internet was flooded with negative news about Han Qian, mostly expressing disappointment and anger that he'd throw away the kingdom for a pretty face. So when they saw Han Qian and Hayuv in the cafeteria, the students started whispering and pointing. Look, That's the useless E-rank spirit contract girl, totally brain dead. Signing a contract with her Han Qian must be blinded by beauty. Those rumors reached Ha Yuvi's ears, making her feel guilty for Han Qian. But Han Qian didn't blame her. Instead, he said, "Don't keep apologizing for nothing all day. Be confident you're a queen." Also, Han Qian placed a pastry on Ha Yuvi's tray. "Eat a big breakfast. Don't mess up the spirit contract exam later." Ha Yuvi instantly cheered up, smiling. "Yeah, I'll try my best. Don't mind those clowns. Let them dance around. We'll show them how strong we really are." While Han Qian and Ha Yuvi were chatting Vung Luat Mao, Tiumi's new S-rank spirit contract master came over to stir trouble. Right off the bat, he threw shade. "Everyone says you're an SSS-RANK genius, but I don't see it. I'm Vung Luat Mao, Tiumi's new spirit contract master." That green-hatted Vung Luk right-hand Qin shot back a sarcastic remark, making Ha Yuvi laugh while Vung Luat Mao got mad, ready to argue more, but Tiumi stopped him. "Luat Mao, don't waste your time with him. He's just self-destructing, a useless spirit contract master about to be exiled to the lower city. The contest's about to start. Let's go." Vung Luat Mao agreed and left with Tiumi, but not before warning Han Qian, "Just wait, I'll get back at you in a bit." After the trainees, the testing tournament is about to start. This time, each gate has a different difficulty level. Just passing one gate counts as valid. The referee stood on the podium to announce the rules, then the testing tournament officially began. The first team up was Tiumi and Vung Luat Mao. Their level 1 test was a black scorpion. After Tiumi transformed into the Lin Bish Huyet form cleansing the silver spear, Vung Luat Mao quickly grabbed the Then Thuong and charged in to attack. Just 2 basic strikes sent the black scorpion straight to its ancestors, leaving everyone in the stands amazed. This is a level S gifted Lin Keymaster, insanely strong. In no time, they pierced through the black scorpion's thick hide. Truly unbelievable. The judges in the observation room were also impressed by this performance. "One spear strike through, not bad." Li Thudong said with interest, "Teacher, they wasted way more effort than my crew to kill the black scorpion." Ngui Kun, head of Zone 1, disagreed. Before he finished, Li Thudong smacked his head and lectured, "How many times have I told you? Don't call me old man. You want to be my old man or what? No way, no way," Ngui Kun obediently replied. Lam Kin Huin, in charge of Zone 2, sat quietly. After a moment, she commented, "As a level S, Lin Keo, she should have landed a finishing blow but was 20% weaker. I think that Lin Kei's lifestyle is undisciplined, causing spiritual energy to leak out." Zhao Hu, standing nearby, felt awkward. "Hem." He cleared his throat. He cleared, then turned back to the main event. After a fierce fight, Tiumi's team surpassed difficulty level 7, breaking the Academy's previous record of level 6. In the stands alongside praise for Tiumi and Vung Luat Mao's team, there were plenty of sarcastic remarks. Han Qian. Where's Han Qian, that useless guy who signed a contract with a level E Lin Qi? Now I just want to see his face. Hot chill, he's up next. Look, a clown's about to perform. All right, next team step up for testing. Han Qian Ha Yuvi took the stage. As the referee announced the monster gate opening, Han Qian immediately noticed something off. Instead of 1 black scorpion at level 1 difficulty, they had to kill 10. The audience above not only sympathized but were also entertained. Is this official bias? This just keeps getting better. Serves him right for choosing a level E Lin Qi. Isn't he the one who loves to break the game? Let's see how he handles this. Difficulty scales per person, because elite level SSS talents are filtered, so difficulty is multiplied by 10. The referee explained, "Actually, it's because Zhao Hu tipped him off yesterday, so he didn't dare refuse and switched to test the black scorpions." At that moment, they all charged at Han Qian. "Bring it on," Han Qian said, then danced across the keys, and in just 1 second sent all 10 monsters to the underworld, leaving not only the trainees in the stands open-mouthed, but also the elders in the observation room stunned. Ngui Ken stared at the screen, shouting excitedly. "Back then it took me 30 seconds to kill that many black scorpions, but this guy only used 1 second. Lam Kin Huiyan noticed another detail. Though he's strong, the testing rules don't seem right. The difficulty has been ramped up way too high. This is the Shenlam City Defense Team. We temporarily increased it. We think the youth, you shouldn't waste your talent or set a bad example." Zhao Hu nervously twitched. Thanmin thought to himself, damn, is this kid Xiao Qiang always restless. Even 10 black scorpion bugs could be wiped out by Lin Jingxuan. Before he could say more, Wei Kan spoke up. I don't see any problem. Our test difficulty was the same back then. These young guys have been too chill for too long. It's time to crank up the difficulty. Li Shudong agreed, saying, yeah, keep going. I want to see how far this brat can really push. So the difficulty level 2 test was quickly set. This time, Hanjan faced 20 black scorpion bugs, but the result was almost the same as before. After just one tune, Hanjan sent all 20 black scorpion bugs to meet their ancestors, shaking the whole community again. So damn cocky. What now? Way too cocky. Is this a direct slap in the face to the authorities? Just gonna let him run wild? Seriously, but the officials according to the students didn't see it that way. In the observation room, Wei Kan laughed loudly and declared, this badass definitely belongs to my #1 squad. Ye Thu, in charge of Squad 3, immediately said, Old Wei, your #1 squad is the suicide squad. Sending a newbie to the front lines to die isn't smart. Better let him grow in my Squad 3 first. Wei Kan shot Ye Thu a displeased look. Old yeah, you trying to steal my guy or what? Ye Thu shot back boldly. Your brat hasn't gotten his ass kicked in a while. Itching for a fight today, huh? Just as things got tense, Shen Siqi, head of Squad 4, spoke up. Wei Ye, your squads are either the main battlefield or a fortified attack zone. Not exactly a walk in the park. Better let him start with relic exploration in Squad 3 first. Damn it, Wei Kan and Ye Thu shouted in unison. All right, enough fighting, Li Shudong spoke up, and the students obediently quieted down. Then he turned to Lin Jingxuan, the calmest guy there. What do you think about this round of the competition? This kind of test is pointless. Although the black scorpion bugs have thick armor that kids' music counters them effectively, you can't win by numbers alone. I suggest we start the highest standard test we had back then. Li Shudong nodded in agreement. Zhao Hu, standing behind, chuckled quietly. The highest standard test for Hanjan this time. Let's see how he dances around it. Outside the arena, the referees announced, to meet higher-ups' demands, the difficulty is raised to the highest standard level 3 difficulty. 10 second-tier armored beasts, 10 second-tier thunderbirds, 20 second-tier mutant beasts. This difficulty is kinda over the top. Armored beasts focus on defense. Thunderbirds specialize in combo damage. Not even a first-tier spirit tactician, let alone a second-tier, can withstand this. Contrary to the other students' worries, Hanjan calmly said, bring it on. This level finally forces me to fight head-on. The monsters didn't keep Hanjan waiting and launched their attack. The Thunderbirds, flying high, all attacked Hanjan with sonic waves. Hanjan played a tune, instantly summoning a legion of warriors charging to attack the armored beasts. But before they even got on the field, the Thunderbirds wiped them out with sonic waves. Hanjan used the battle-breaking melody to shatter the Thunderbirds' attack, then dashed forward at lightning speed to stand his ground. Hanqin used the Battle Breaker melody to shatter the Thunder Soundbird's attack, then dashed forward at lightning speed to stand his ground. He slipped right into the enemy's midst. Then he broke the formation and took out the whole pack of monsters in one go. Earlier, Wang Lu Mao was even smiling. But Tram Chok was starting to freak out, couldn't help but blurt out, damn this guy. Just how much power is he hiding? The referee took a moment to recover, then announced Hanqian completed difficulty level 3. This guy's defying fate, wiping out both the giant armored beast and the thunder spirit in just 2 moves. Even Lam Kin Huyen couldn't keep his cool, his voice rising a few tones. His swordplay is insanely unpredictable, at least 10 times faster than normal, never heard anything like it. Li Thudong's face darkened, feeling a bit unsettled. Is the lower level UV next to him really just a basic contract spirit? This is definitely not something to overlook. Li Thudong called out to a man standing afar. A fuck, come here for a sec. In a flash, a fuck was right behind Li Thudong, hands clasped, asking, what's up? Can you tell the quality of contract spirits? Quickly check the quality of that lower level UV. A fuck frowned and replied, I've already scanned it, can't tell. Maybe her condition is just like the young ladies. Li Thudong was surprised. You're saying she and the contract spirit are the same. Both are in a dormant state. The stone appraisal says basic level, but your talent scan can't distinguish, so it gives the same result. The reason she's so strong is because she's signed a contract with Han Qian. Honestly answered. That possibility can't be ruled out. Weird. If that's true, we need the contract spirit and Han Qian to meet. Oh, right. What did the contract spirit say about its basic talent level? Immediately replied. After finishing difficulty level 3, Shen Nongding returned to the main character. Han Qin still wasn't ready to stop and requested to keep challenging. You sure? The referee asked seriously. Yeah, getting the answer, the referee immediately started difficulty level 4. In the end, Han Qian wiped out the whole monster pack with just one move. Riding the momentum, Han Qian kept challenging, and soon cleared difficulty level 9. The referee was starting to get nervous, even cautiously advising a fellow student, Han, you've won 9 rounds straight. Maybe call it quits. Han Qian firmly replied, no, I'm going to challenge difficulty level 10. What are you crazy? No one's ever passed difficulty level 10 since the test began. The students in the stands started buzzing. Han Qian may be a prodigy, but he just awakened and can't beat difficulty level 10. That's the final stage facing a level 3 rare beast. If he doesn't want to crash and burn, he'd better stop now. Even top-tier Master Nui Khan was shocked. This test system, back in my day, I only made it to difficulty level 9. Saying that the image of the passionate young man from back then flashed in Nui Khan's mind, stirring some nostalgia. This guy's a real talent. I gotta get him into Zone 2. Just as Lam Kin Hien finished speaking, Nui Khan stormed forward, radiating power. Oh, you're trying to steal my guy from Zone 1. Why not? Lam Kin Hien pushed up his glasses, smiled, and didn't hesitate to clash, unleashing his power outside. The referee was already impressed by Han Qian's talent. He kindly warned, if you want to quit on purpose, I won't stop you. But in your current state, you can't win. I know, let me start over slowly, Han Qian said as he sat down, collapsed to the ground. The exam rules state that rest time between rounds can't exceed 5 minutes. Just give me the length of a song. Han Qian strummed a tune, and his body recovered at a lightning-fast pace, leaving everyone watching with their jaws dropped. Damn, he's restoring his spent spirit energy, can attack, can support, even boost and heal. Is this the spirit contract of a genius? Such a terrifying, heavenly, defying spirit contract. Inside the observation room, the officials and Lam Kin Hien, seeing this, became even more determined to recruit Han Qian to their team at all costs, so neither side was willing to back down. Just as they were about to settle it with force, Liu Tinshuan, in charge of Zone 5, spoke up. Are you seriously going to send a spirit contract master who can absorb spirit energy to heal wounds straight to the front lines? Old Liu, you want to snatch him too? Liu Tinshuan tried to persuade. Let him come with me to Zone 5. Having a spirit contract master on the battlefield cuts the death rate by at least 30%, no doubt. Ngui Kun and Lam Kin Huin shouted back in unison, unleashing their energy to intimidate Liu Tinshuan once more. Enough! Lai Thudong snapped angrily, punching away the aura of the 2 top fighters from the Great Ha Zone. Each held a position and had earned battle honors. The first zone was the elite frontline. The second zone was strategic. The third expanded territory. The fourth scouted secrets. The truth was, the fifth zone rescued the wounded. The sixth guarded treacherous paths. The seventh crossed the Trungdung River, and the eighth hid in the rear. These 8 zones were the backbone of Great Ha, holding the line against heaven and earth. I've often thought about creating a 9th zone, but never managed to take the first real step. Ngui Kun was stunned. Teacher, you really want to establish a 9th zone? Lam Kin Huin stayed silent, feeling uncertain inside. Can he really pull it off? Just then, a level 3 red flame beast appeared as the referee announced the rules. Start with difficulty, level M, survive the red flame beast's attack for 3 minutes. The beast roared, sending out a heat wave that had everyone struggling just to stay grounded. Yet Han Qian stood firm, like nothing was happening. Everyone watched baffled. Why wasn't he dodging? Is he crazy? It's a level 3 demon beast. Why not run? Han Qian looked at Ha UV, currently in a pack formation, and asked, UV ready yet? Ha UV replied, whatever you decide, I'm backing you unconditionally. With that answer, Han Qian didn't hesitate and charged at the red flame beast. As a spirit contract master, I'm not just here to survive. The red flame beast sensed Han Qian approaching, let out a roar, and unleashed destructive flames. Han Qian dodged, then chanted a spell summoning a whirlwind that surrounded the beast. Each gust sliced like a razor, cutting the red flame beast into 1,000 pieces, shocking the audience. And he passed. How is this possible? That's a level 3 demon beast insane. This record's probably unbreakable. Wang Lu Mao's face turned pale. Unwilling, he exclaimed, "Why? Why is this happening?" Tiumi ground her teeth in anger. Damn it! He stole all the glory. Back to the main guy, even after defeating the red flame beast. Han Qian still felt a bit regretful he couldn't force himself to use the high-level spirit contract, yet the side effects were too severe. Suddenly, Han Qian was transported to another dimension. While he was still confused, a voice spoke up. "Kid, congrats on passing the survey. This is the second survey space." "Who are you?" Han Qian asked cautiously. Lam Qinhuin smiled and explained, "I'm Lam Qinhuin in charge of Battle Zone 2. I came to ask you a few questions. Who do you think will win in the end, the insect race or humanity?" Han Qian answered honestly. "The insect race will probably win, but humanity won't go down without a fight." "Oh, that's an interesting answer. So after you become a Spirit Pact Master, what will you fight for? To stop the insect race from destroying your homeland, to secure a safe place for humanity to settle, or to revive Great Ha so its power can spread everywhere?" Suddenly applause broke out. Li Thudong looked pleased and said, "Good. Well said, kid. Wanna be my disciple?" Lam Qinhuin introduced, "This is Li Thudong, from the Lai family, the strongest clan in Great Ha. To talk about the Lai family, you gotta go back 100 years. The 3 great insect emperors teamed up to overthrow Great Ha, pushing it to the brink of extinction. In that critical moment, Li Thudong fought 3-on-1, defeated the 3 great insect emperors, and stopped the disaster. So when Li Thudong offered to take Han Qian as his disciple, Han Qian didn't hesitate and immediately agreed. Good, good. I like you better than those other kids. First time we meet, I don't have a gift. So here, take this ring made from the remains of a 9th-level insect emperor I defeated back then. It has a cultivation space inside that can store items." Han Qian stared at the aura radiating from the ring in awe. The power and sharp energy it held were insane. Just the remains had that much power. Imagine how strong the 9th-level insect emperor was alive. This ring can suppress lower-level insects, but against stronger ones, it just makes them attack crazier. If you're worried, don't wear it all the time. Han Qian didn't hesitate to put it on excitedly, saying, "This is my master's gift, gotta wear it." "That's the spirit," Li Thudong said happily, then looked at Lam Qinhuin. "You're not a coward like those guys who wouldn't dare wear the ring. Just chatting, the kid and this girl just finished the survey, so their spiritual energy must be drained. Right, I'm in a good mood today. Let's take them out for a meal." So Li Thudong took Han Qian and the lower UV to a famous restaurant in the city and called the heads of the subzones over. "Han Qian, I've called your senior brothers so you can get to know them." Lam Qinhuin spoke up. "I'm Lam Qinhuin in charge of Battle Zone 2. We've met before. In order, they are your 3rd senior brother, Diep Thu, 4th senior brother, Tam Chiet Ki, and 5th senior brother, Lu Tin Xuan." Han Qian clasped his hands politely and said, "Han Qian respectfully greets my senior brothers. We're family." "Don't be so formal." A few other senior brothers hadn't arrived yet. The 6th senior brother guards the border and couldn't come. The 7th is abroad and hasn't met you yet. Before the 8th senior brother, Tam Cheat Ki, could finish, a figure suddenly appeared behind Han Qian, saying, "No need for introductions, I'm here. Here's my number, call if you're in danger. Remember, you only get 1 shot." He handed Han Qian a slip of paper, then disappeared out of the restaurant. The 8th senior brother sure has an attitude. "Hold on to the other useful stuff for me." Just then, a chubby auntie barged in, yelling, before she even got a good look at anyone. "Hey, sneaking off to eat hot pot behind my back? Aren't you scared of karma?" "Ah!" Vi cried out in fear. "Auntie." That auntie stepped forward, pointed right at Hayu V and cursed. "You think you're so clever. Usually you eat my food at my place. But now you're kicking me out and enjoying yourself behind my back. No kids and still talking back." Before Hayu V could finish, the auntie tried to slap her cheek, but Han Qian stopped her. "Let go of her. You're the guy who seduced my Hayu Vi, right? Han Qian asked coldly. What do you want? Want what I've been raising her all this time. Of course, I want full compensation. Ha! Yuvi couldn't stand the aunties yelling and shouted angrily, Enough, you dare yell at me. Ha! Yuvi, you're really something. You think you can just pass the test and be untouchable. Let's see who you really are. I'll have you know, my uncle is a big shot in District 4. You dare yell at me. Believe me, I'll make sure no spirit master will ever take you in. Wait, did she say District 4? Tham Che-Ki barely opened his mouth before the auntie snapped at him. What's it to you? Who the hell are you? And she pointed at Li Thudong saying, And you're Han Qian's grandpa, right? You bastard today, I declare that if anyone wants to take my Hayuvi away, they gotta deal with me first. The house, the car, everything must be under my name. I've got connections in District 3, District 3. 4 and 5, try me, I'll show you who you're messing with. Li Thudong silently put down his chopsticks, his face full of anger as he told his disciples. What are you standing there for? They just called me a bastard and you're not even calling them yet. The disciples didn't hesitate, immediately pulling out their phones to call their subordinates. Damn it, did this shit really happen in our territory? The auntie still didn't realize who she was messing with and confidently said, You want to call someone? Humph, I'm not scared, I've got higher-ups too. Just then her phone rang. Hello? Is that you, Uncle? Why are you calling me out of the blue today? The voice on the other end immediately yelled, That bitch wants to kill us. All right, I'm telling you from now on our two families are done. The auntie was confused, but Li Thudong calmly said, You said you had higher-ups, huh? I've got higher-ups too, Uncle. The voice on the line cut her off and continued yelling, Do whatever you want, but don't drag us into this. Don't mess with Han Qian and Ha Yu Vi. The phone slipped from the auntie's hand, and she was so shocked she couldn't stand. Confused, she wondered what was going on. Just then a waiter stepped in and reminded them, Excuse me, please don't cause a scene here. Cause a scene, they're bullying me and I'm not letting it slide. Saying that the auntie threw herself on the floor, throwing a tantrum. Oh my God, spirit masters, bullying regular folks, they're trying to kill me, so cruel. Li Thudong lost his patience, waved his hand and silenced the auntie. Finally, the restaurant staff carried her out. Ha! Uvi felt embarrassed and bowed her head. Sorry, teacher, it's all my fault, Li Thudong gently replied. How could I blame you? Your parents are gone too. From now on, Han Qian, the senior disciples, and I will be your family. Also, don't go back to that auntie's place anymore. You and Han Qian can just stay at my house. After all these years, only now do I feel the warmth of true family, making Ha Yu Vi tear up with emotion. Yes, thank you, teacher. After dealing with the auntie, everyone continued eating and chatting happily. What about the spirit contracts of the senior disciples? Or wait, the sisters-in-law. It made Ha Yu Vi so moved she shed tears. Yeah, thanks, teacher. Ha finished dealing with auntie's mess, and everyone kept eating and chatting happily. So whose spirit fruit is that, bros? Wait, or is it the sisters-in-law's? Here we go. Lam Kin Huyen didn't rush to answer, but looked at Han Qin and Ha Yu Vi, then asked back, You two haven't hooked up yet, right? No, not yet, Han Qian replied awkwardly. After hooking up, the spirit contract master gains a certain display power. This power is weak but super useful. Spirit contracts have two forms, human and physical. Your sisters-in-law are currently in human form. We're in charge of the battle zone. So spirit contracts and spirit contract masters can not only fight together, but also solo fight. So you gotta hook up first, huh? Ha Yu Vi whispered shyly. Speaking of which, I'm really curious about something. Is Ha Yu Vi really just an E-rank spirit contract? Facing Lam Kin Huyen's question, Han Qian honestly answered. No way. Everyone started as E-rank, but I have the ability to restore divine nature. After restoring it, I became SSS-RANK. The senior brothers were shocked. What? No joke, such a crazy power and no one's heard of it. Others think I pick spirit contracts randomly, but I'd never contract with a normal one. It's my talent. If I find a spirit contract with divine nature, even if the rank is low, I won't pass it up. Now that it's restored, there are still 9 items left in the top 10 ancient divine weapons. Hearing this, Li Thudong immediately got serious and warned Lao Ju, besides us, no one can know about Qin Huiyan's talent. Later, lock Hanqin and Ha Yuvi's info as top secret, no one else can see it. Yes, sir. Hanqin and Lam Qin Huiyan answered in unison. Lu Tinsuen suddenly remembered something and announced, Sir, since today's a good day, we have some good news. The Great Army has won 19 straight battles against the Insect Clan. We've reclaimed 6 expanded map zones. The Great Army also made progress in investigating this year's Insect Clan outbreak. Good, very good, all great news. Let's toast to the future bottoms up. So, this time the whole group just focused on eating and drinking their fill. The car arrived near dawn. Except for Han Qian and Ha Yuvi, who went home with Li Thudong, everyone else headed to their own places. Looking around the mansion, Han Qian couldn't help but sigh. Didn't expect the master to have such a huge house. Li Thudong's face darkened and he replied sadly, Chung Tam Lam is my wife's hometown master. Why doesn't she live with us? Li Thudong was silent. After a moment, he answered, She's gone. People only remember Li Thudong as the one who stopped the waves and wiped out the 3 great insect emperors, but no one remembers her name. Without her, what would I be? Sorry, master, I shouldn't mention her and make you sad. Han Qin said warmly, Lao Ju, you gotta treat Ha Yuvi well from now on. She's not just a spirit contract or a battle tool. She's a real person, half of me. Thanks for your teaching, I'll always cherish it. UV, by the way, can you tell me your master's name? As long as someone remembers her, it means the world hasn't forgotten her. You're definitely not like the others, I really like that. Her name was Lang Mai. In that historic battle, I only defeated 1 insect emperor, but she risked everything to take down 2. If she were alive, maybe the honor of saving the Great Army would belong to her more. It's late, you two should find a good room and rest. Li Thudong held back his emotions, then went outside with a photo of his late wife to look at it. Little Mai, I don't even remember the last time we looked at this together. While Li Thudong was lost in thought, Han Qian and Ha Yuvi appeared again. The abbess is gone now. Later, you and the master can keep an eye on this kid, but when I see you two, it reminds me of when Tio Mai and I were young. But to protect someone important, you gotta have real strength. From now on, I'll teach you my best martial art. Saying that, Li Thudong stood up, still calm. Then with bare hands, he sliced a thick tree trunk in half. This technique is called Bat Ku Queen. It has 8 pressure points, each corresponding to a hidden spot on the body. When all 8 points are unlocked, you can break your limits. Master, check if I'm doing it right. Han Qin spoke while trying the moves Li Thudong showed him. His precise form left Li Thudong wide-eyed in shock. He thought to himself, how is this possible? Back then, Ngui Kun took half a year to unlock a single point, yet this kid nailed it just by watching once. Before Li Thudong could recover from the shock, Han Qin spoke up. You even found the pressure points, kid. Let me teach you how to use Bat Kuk Queen in real combat. Without warning, Li Thudong lunged, delivering a friendly punch that caught Han Qin off guard, sending him sprawling on the ground. Gotta let him feel it a bit. Too much genius isn't always good. Gotta tone down his sharp edge. Thinking about how he could freely school his disciple, Li Thudong felt moved to teach. Genius life's pretty sweet. The next day at Thandang Academy, seeing Han Qian's swollen face, Haiuvi asked with concern, Does your face still hurt? It'll heal fast. The master was just messing around with me. Just then, Vung Lut Mao and his crew showed up. Passing by Han Qin, they sneered. Oh, isn't this the famous SSS-ranked prodigy Lin Ke? So famous. But what's it worth? Isn't he just tossed aside like garbage? Haiuvi waited till they passed, then whispered to Han Qin. Who are they? Just ignore them. They're like annoying flies nobody wants around. Han Qin said, then headed with Haiuvi to the principal's office. As planned, after some small talk, Tran Kuangfo got straight to the point. Got some bad news for you. By orders from above, you two are being assigned to the Thamlam City Guard, starting A-level missions. Here's the official notice. Spread the word fast. I know this decision's a bit much for your talent, but it's the higher-ups' call. I've done what I could. No worries, I'll accept it. Maybe this is the unique path you were meant to take, like you said before. Han Qin took the notice, and as he stepped out, he spotted the annoying face of Vung Lut Mao. Han Xin said. I told you from the start you'll never beat me. Even if you pass the highest exam, how can you mess with the officials? You'll only lose. Han Xin stared coldly at Vung Lutmao. Vung Lutmao, riding high from his recent dual cultivation with Tu Mi, doubled his strength and thought he was untouchable, so he kept provoking. "Wanna fight? I'm not the same guy you can mess with anymore." At that moment, he powered up and threw a punch at Han Xin. Not backing down, Han Xin blocked it with his hand, snapping Vung Lutmao's arm. As Vung Lutmao screamed in pain, Han Xin didn't let up and landed another solid punch before walking off satisfied. The principal came out, saw Vung Lutmao lying still on the floor and shouted, "Is anyone here?" Vung Lutmao's kidney failed and he passed out. Who brought him here? The medical room went with Han Qian and Ha Yuvi straight to the Deep Blue City Guard forces to take on their mission. Hello? Before Han Qian could finish speaking, the male receptionist, eyes glued to his phone, quickly cut him off and headed out the door. Take a number. Wait for your name to be called. Then come up. I'm not here for help. I'm here to report for duty. Report for duty. Oh, you guys are the ones. Vice Captain Zhao ordered us to wear you out. Nah, I mean to take good care of the only SSS-level spirit contract master in Deep Blue City to the fullest. The guy was typing on the computer while saying the files for both of you have been updated. Han Xin was assigned to Squad 527, also serving as the squad leader in the guard forces. Every city has a top officer responsible for the various guard squads. Each squad gets a number based on their district. Each squad is different. The Squad 527 headquarters is through that door and then to the back. Han Qian followed the directions to Squad 527's HQ. As soon as he pushed the door open, he saw bottles and stuff scattered everywhere. The strong smell of booze making him frown. Is this really Squad 527's HQ? Who are you guys? A girl dressed skimpy holding a glass said. Han Qian replied sternly, the new squad leader of Squad 527. Han Qian. The young man lying on the couch opened his eyes, glanced at Han Qian, then turned to the corner with a mocking tone. Growing fur. Not even good enough yet, but want to be our squad leader. Get lost, Scram, and let the water clear up. Han Qian said nothing, just looked him over, judging him as a total mess. Someone like this deserves to be a guard member. Hearing that Ha Yuvi got pissed and said, "What kind of talk is that?" The young man got up and walked over to tease Ha Yuvi. This little sis talks sweet, gets even cuter when mad. So, wanna be my spirit's contract, I guarantee it. Before he could finish, Han Qian threw a straight punch that knocked the wind out of him instantly. Hong Wanvi, seeing her teammate get beat up, just shrugged and said, Deech Pham, you handle the new squad leader, I'm gonna take a break. Deech Pham saw her heading inside and called after her, Hong Wanvi, you still owe me some drinking money pay up, I'm broke right now. Hong Wanvi snapped back annoyed and slammed the door shut. Only then did Deech Pham sit up, slurring, You see for yourself, Squad 527 is so pathetic, they can't even afford booze. You still planning to stick around? Han Qian confidently replied. As long as I'm here, these struggles are just temporary. Seriously overestimating yourself. Deech Pham clicked his tongue and went to the computer. Check this out first in Deep Blue City's guard forces. Our squad ranks dead last in points. In 2 months at year-end, the organization will start cutting squads. Those kicked out get sent down to the lower city. With our current points, getting kicked out is inevitable. The lower city is filthy and rundown survival there is brutal. If you don't want to die there, better scram fast. That's when Han Qian understood Zhao Hu's plan. Zhao Hu's ruthless, trying to push me down to the lower city. I won't let him win. Han Qian, that guy's given up, just a useless loser. Let's bounce. Han Qian glanced at Ha Yuvi and said, running from hardship only makes you weak. You gotta push through to get stronger. Plus, even if I join another squad, Zhao Hu won't let me off the hook. So I'd rather stay and rebuild Squad 527, turn it into the strongest squad in Deep Blue City and foil Zhao Hu's plan. Saying that, Han Qian pushed open the door to the room where Hong Wanvi was. Hong Wanvi didn't react much, seeing them, just said, Get out, you're not welcome here. You want to just sit and wait to die. Hong Wanvi saw them but showed no reaction, just said, Get out, you're not welcome here. You want to just sit tight and wait to die. So deep in thought already, is it Hong Wanvi or Ares? Han Qian muttered while scanning Ares' info. Aries has an A-level contract spirit illusion transformation, form a flirtatious ring and a trait of wild talk, can change shape and height at will. Han Qin's words instantly fired Aries up. Who the hell is this guy that he can see through my sweet talk? I already introduced myself, I'm Han Qin. That was just me flexing a bit. Han Qin chuckled in reply. He thought to himself the woman seemed lazy, but since Dish Fam just begged her for money, she must still be trying to keep the team afloat. Just gotta poke the right spot and Team 0. 527 might have a shot. Aries eyed Han Qin warily. What's his game? If you're trying to threaten me with this, I suggest you quit now. Ditch Fam gave up on missions with me, but she definitely won't want to drop to the lower city. Han Qin said while extending his hand. Aries hesitated. Why should I trust? You can actually turn a profit. Split the mission 50-50. Work together. Once, and you'll see if what I said is legit or not. Even a dude like this can see through my BS. He's got something different. Trying once won't hurt. Thinking that Aries shook Han Qian's hand to seal the deal, Han Qian nodded happily and gave orders. Then you handle gathering missions, I'll do the filtering. Aries jumped into action. Moments later, she held up a tablet for Han Qian to check. Right now, there are 3 missions that fit our team pretty well. Take a look. Mission 1. Find missing guard team members, mission points 50. Mission 2. Help contract masters and spirits resolve emotional conflicts, mission points 10. Mission 3. Substitute for a client to pick up and drop off kids at school, mission points 10 per day. Han Qin skimmed the list and said, These missions are all low difficulty. Low points. When are we going to flip the score? We gotta go for the highest point mission. Han Qin swiped the screen, then stopped on one. Good pick, this one. Mission description. Exterminate the parasite species. Life scans detected activity of this species in the underground system of Lam City's Deep District. Guards are invited to eliminate them. Mission points. 300 materials from the species could bring extra profit. High danger level recommended. Team size 6 to 8. Aries read the mission info and shouted, Are you crazy? Didn't you see the recommended team size? 6 to 8 people means at least 2 squads need to work together to finish this. I know only missions like this can flip our score. While saying that, Han Qin hit accept mission, leaving Aries helplessly muttering, You're nuts. If we fail, we lose 10 times the bonus money. Got a problem? I'll take responsibility. Saying that, Han Qin and Ha Yu left. Aries watched them go, clicking her tongue. Fine agreed to cooperate. If the mission fails, we'll at least have to collect his body. Meanwhile, another squad prepping supplies for a mission suddenly heard a young man report to the captain. The parasite extermination mission in the underground system has already been taken. Who stole our mission? The other team members started guessing. Could it be Team 0018 trying to snatch scraps? After all, it's 300 points. Finishing it equals 2 months' worth. There's no way they can't handle it. Plus, their captain just confirmed cooperation with us, right? The captain, looking pissed, said, Let's head to the underground system entrance and see who dares to steal our mission. Back with the main guy after leaving the squad office, they immediately headed to the sewer to start the mission. Whitebone covered his nose, warning, Watch out, the life detector picked up over 8 level 2 bug clans inside, probably their nest. Han Zhen glanced at Ha Yuvi, then dashed into the sewer. Bak Duong, you wait here. I'll be back quick. Level 2 clans are tough. Even one squad can mess you up. And you're going solo. That's straight up reckless. No sooner had Whitebone finished than a loud explosion echoed from inside. What the hell? Already trouble. Bak Duong rushed in, finding Han Zhan and Ha Yuvi surrounded by bug clan corpses and the body of some rough-looking guy. Don't worry, it's done, Han Zhan said, wiping blood off his hands to Whitebone. Only then did Whitebone dare approach, looking confused. All done by you, manitumime? Yeah, mission went smooth. Go gather valuable materials from the bug corpses. They'll fetch good cash. Oh, and that guy on the ground was probably a missing guard, but he's dead. You should bring him back too. Han Zhen waved goodbye and left with Ha Yuvi. Bak Duong watched them wondering. Who the hell is this guy that can wipe out such a scary level 2 clan so easily? When the other squad called Team Y reached the sewer, the party was already over. Except for the scattered bug clan bodies, no one else was around. There were 14 level 2 bugs total, 2 more than the intel said. A young guy approached the bug corpses, checked them out, then reported all wiped out with 1 strike. At the same time, they'd got a notification that the Bug Clan extermination mission was complete, making the team leader exclaim, "Who the hell finished this mission? What kind of monster is that?" The next day, Hanjan's squads 2 and 5 completed 2 missions, boosting their team's points to 350. This made Xiaohu furious, yelling, "Damn it, I told you to handle them. What the hell are you doing?" "Sorry, Xiaobei," came the stammered reply. Hanjan muttered, "Don't think just 'cause you found backup I can't mess with you." Xiaohu ordered, "Xiaobei, go, grab all the missions from other squads in Deep Blue City, don't leave a single one." "Yes," Xiaobei replied, not wasting a second, and immediately got to work. That night, Li Shudong heard about Xiaohu bullying Hanjan and offered to help, but Hanjan declined. "Thanks, teacher, but I don't need it." The guard force claims to protect the city but doesn't really do their job, and they're busy with other stuff inside the organization. Li Shudong agreed. A strong organization always faces all kinds of problems. We've been busy fighting clans for years, but the root inside is rotting. Once the root's rotten, cutting it off won't heal it. It needs a fire to be reborn. That's why I chose you. I want you to be that fire. Fire burns dry leaves, clears the darkness, but it can also go out any time. Like I said, your future's up to you. Yes, I understand, teacher. Suddenly, Hanjan remembered something. Oh, teacher, I haven't been able to break through the extreme fist rank lately. How do I break through to the next level? After finishing, everyone headed back to their rooms to rest. Han Qian was about to crash after a long day when suddenly the door opened. Hyuvi, looking shy, asked Han Qian, "Can I crash here tonight?" Han Qian sat up flustered, saying, "This mansion's too fancy, right? Isn't it kinda big? Not that spacious either. Why don't you just sleep in your own room?" Hyuvi lowered her head, embarrassed, and replied, "The master locked all the rooms, so I had to sleep on the floor. The floor's cool, though." Han Qian forced a laugh and said, "I was actually thinking about crashing on the floor, but Hyuvi cut him off. No way tonight, you gotta sleep on the bed. This isn't a good idea." In the end, less than 5 minutes later, both of them were out, cold tongues out, without even realizing it. The next morning, Han Qian and Hyuvi headed to the office of Team 027, where Dish Pham and Bok Jung had been waiting for them for who knows how long. As soon as Han Qian walked in, Bok Sung said, "An SSS-RANK rookie contracted Spirit Master from Than Lam City, the strongest rookie in the contracted Spirit Master exam, who wiped out a level 2 Spirit Tribe and soloed a level 3 Spirit Tribe. The most talented contracted Spirit Master in history, the #1 prodigy of Thandang Academy, Han Qian." So it was him. Dich Pham chimed in, "Last time we really didn't realize how badass you were. Thought you just got promoted through connections, sorry." As he spoke, Bok Sung bowed his head. "Hey, we're all teammates. No need to be so formal." Hearing that Bok Sung finally dared to lift his head and couldn't help but voice his thoughts. "But seriously, it's a waste of talent to shove a genius like you into the guard squad. Don't know what those higher-ups were thinking. Staying here, you'll get tainted sooner or later. Only mediocre people get changed by their environment. I'll be the one to change the environment." Dich Pham, just taking a sip of wine, spoke up. "You're too flashy. Already pissed off Triu Ho. This won't blow over easily. He'll do whatever it takes to drag you down." Thun But Soon grabbed his tablet to check again and announced, "For some reason, all Than Lam City's missions have been taken. None left. What now? We barely made any progress. Are we just supposed to sit and wait?" Han Qian had anticipated this and didn't look worried, instead asking, "You said all Than Lam City's missions are taken?" "Yeah." "No. I mean, if Than Lam City's missions are all taken, what about other cities?" "What do you mean?" "Let's try switching our usual location to Thunghai City and see." Han Qian started tapping on the tablet. Sure enough, within seconds, a bunch of unclaimed missions popped up on the screen. But Sung Than warned, "Though we can take missions in other cities to rack up points, that means we gotta crawl to neighboring cities to complete them. But the roads out of the city are swarming with high-level spirit tribes. This might be a trap." On a deserted road, not a soul in sight, in the middle of the ruined city, a car was being chased by 3 spirit tribes. One of them got slammed by the car and flew right off. MC Ha UV, watching 2 spirit tribes still chasing relentlessly, asked curiously, "What are those level 1 spirit tribes called Roy Tantro, our pack creatures?" The more they gather, the more destructive and dangerous they become. Ditch Fam, lying in the back of the car, suddenly looked up and shouted in shock, "Holy crap! Check out what I just spotted." Not far away, a massive tornado of hundreds of thousands of Ruoi Tantro spirit tribes was moving, making the whole group freak out. "Oh snap, that's a swarm of carrion flies. This many means some serious destruction is coming." Ditch Fam took a swig of his drink, grinning wildly, and charged at them. "Let's go, haha, charge!" Captain Bok Jung was turning the wheel, glancing back at Han Qin. On the other side, a group of merchants was being chased by the storm and those flies. "Should we save them?" Han Qin immediately replied, "Why not?" "Turn right full throttle." Getting the order, Bok Jung didn't hesitate and switched the car's direction, heading straight for the wrecked vehicle. The sharp turn made Ditch Fam stumble, banging his head on the car frame. Even with blood splattered everywhere, he still managed to laugh and shout excitedly, "This is lit." Meanwhile, inside the car being chased by the storm and flies, the old butler looked serious and said to Thung Tidin, "Miss, the car can't speed up anymore. In 5 minutes they'll catch us for sure. Reinforcements won't arrive in time. For your safety," the butler loudly ordered over the radio, "all units execute the sacrifice plan." "Roger." On the other side, the radio quickly responded, "No way, everyone turn back. No one's allowed to quit until the very end." Thung Tidin grabbed the radio, sobbing, "Miss, our mission is to protect you," the other side replied, and then cut the connection. Then they stopped chasing Thung Tidin's car and turned around, heading straight into the storm. The escort team got the order. 3, 2 fire. Though scared, the 2 team members followed orders without hesitation. One used a machine gun, the other fired rockets. But in the end, they couldn't escape their fate and died in the storm. Watching this, Thung Tidin screamed in pain, blaming herself. "Damn it, it's all my fault." The old butler gently comforted her. "Protecting you was their honor. You don't have to blame yourself." Right then, the sound of a guitar played. Han Qian appeared with his UV in contract spirit form, taking out a bunch of lives with just a few moves inside the storm. Thung Tidin looked out the car window, horrified. "Oh my God, someone's actually breaking up the storm." The old butler was stunned too. Since when did such a badass show up in this area? It seemed the storm sensed the threat and sent out giant needles flying straight at Han Qian's group. "Watch out!" Ditch Fam shouted, rushing forward to shield Han Qian. The needles pierced through Ditch Fam, making him collapse. "Ha ha, this is wild." Unlike Ditch Fam's dazed face, Han Qian immediately bent down, worried. "These needles are poisonous. If we don't pull them out within a few seconds, they'll kill you." But quickly, the needles popped out of Ditch Fam on their own. His wounds started healing fast, surprising Han Qian. As Ditch Fam spoke, Han Qian read his info. Ditch Fam SS tier talent, immortal. Divine nature, no way. Does he really have SS tier talent? What's this immortal trait about? Super fast healing or actual immortality? Like reading Han Qian's mind. Ditch Fam sat up, smiling. "You're probably wondering about my SS tier immortal talent, huh? Beg me, plead with me, and I'll tell you." "Not interested," Han Qian bluntly replied, turning away to show no interest, killing Ditch Fam's vibe. Not fun at all. After rescuing Thung Tidin's car, Han Qian's team continued their journey. Zhengdo quickly reached the first mission site, where Han Qian and Ha Yuvi teamed up to wipe out a swarm of flies. Working together, they took down the monsters in one swift move, leaving Ditch Fam and Bok Duong totally stunned. Just like that, Han Qian's team rapidly completed 5 missions in Thuanghai City. The news instantly stirred up the other squads. Since when did Thuanghai have such a beastly team? That's insane. Minus the average travel time of over 10 seconds per mission, that was a straight-up massacre solo show. Could it be that those frontline spirit masters have come back here to clean up Team Zero? 527 from Than Tam Lam, led by Team Captain X, let's just call him Y. Seeing the team name and the mission they dropped, the captain of Than Tam Lam's guard team got pissed and smashed the iPad in his hand. "They come here to snatch Thuanghai's missions. That's a slap in my face. Team 1. Follow me, we're gonna teach them a lesson." A moment later, not just Team 1, but several other squads started moving toward where Team X was headed. The captain of Team X said, "Looks like Thuanghai's got a bunch of guard teams popping up. Seems like nobody's cool with that mission snatcher." The blue-haired guy got an idea. If we team up, we can definitely finish off those ghost tail snakes early. The brown-haired dude agreed. Yeah, let's show that mission thief from Than Tam Lam what real power looks like. Look ahead, the black-haired guy shouted in shock. The ghost tail snakes Team X planned to kill were already wiped out, lying all over the ground. Damn that mission thief bullying everyone way too much. He slammed his hand on the vehicle and said, Chowa, turn the car around. I want an explanation from that mission thief. Chowa, who was driving, replied, Got it. The brown-haired captain immediately stopped him. No way, Captain. They just finished the mission and seem to have left Thuong Hai already. Someone saw their black pickup truck leaving the city. A few days later at the guard headquarters, Commander To Min Hien, number 3 in command, looked at the report. Clearly puzzled. Weird. Why has the mission completion rate in Thuong Hai Than Tam Lam and surrounding areas suddenly spiked like this? Is there some special event going on, sir? Recently, a team has been snatching missions in Than Tam Lam, stealing missions from other cities, causing a chain reaction, the subordinate explained. Quick, bring me that team's file. The subordinate immediately printed a dossier and handed it to To Min Hien. Top secret file team 0527 from Than Tam Lam, former captain Dich Pham. SS-RANK Spirit Master, formerly stationed at Combat Zone 1, specialized in combat spirits, awarded the Zhangzi Star. Later, after his spirit partner died, he got discouraged and voluntarily downgraded to the guard force. Immortal talent, no form of damage can truly kill him. He theoretically has the ability to live forever. Next, top secret file on Team 0527 member Hong Oan, VA rank Spirit Master who fought alongside Dich Pham in the same zone. Both later joined the guard force. Wild talent can change form and even name. Note, once activated, this talent literally changes reality, turning lies into truth. Extremely dangerous. Both files are top secret. How is that even possible? After calming down, To Min Hien flipped open a third file, hoping 3rd time's the charm that this last one wouldn't be top secret too. Top secret file 0527 Lam Than Tam current team leader. Han Qian just graduated from Thandong Academy. No detailed info available. Is it possible there's none? Could the file be mixed up? Just as To Min Hien was wondering, the phone rang and the caller made him panic. It was Lam Kin Huyen. Hello, Commander. Any orders? To Min Hien nervously asked, cutting straight to the chase. Stop investigating the file you have. It's beyond your authority now. Yes, sir. To Min Hien replied immediately. Lam Kin Huyen didn't waste time and hung up. Only then did To Min Hien breathe a sigh of relief. Damn, this is intense. What's Han Qian's identity that makes the head of Combat Zone 2 Lam Kin Huyen call me personally while? To Min Hien was still puzzled. Han Qian calmly finished off a giant superbug. Mission 18 complete. Bak Zhuang, check how many points we have now. Yes. Bak Zhuang replied quickly, pulling up the iPad to check. At this point, Dich Pham was already wasted. But hearing this, he laughed out loud with excitement. With so many missions done, we must be on top. Our captain scored a total of 1,800 points. But then Bak Duong hesitated a bit. But who's still at the bottom of the leaderboard? How come? Dich Pham asked, surprised. Ha-UV guessed, could someone have finished their missions faster than us? Damn it, it's gotta be Zhao Hu pulling some crap. Bak Zhuang snapped. Let me check. Han Qian grabbed the iPad, scanned the leaderboard. The second-to-last team had 2,300 points, just a bit more than us. But over 10 teams at the bottom all had 2,300 points. Something's fishy. More than 10 teams with the same score. Could they all have SSS tier talents? Sweeping through infinite races, Han Qian immediately denied it. No, this is point sharing. Their teams agreed to split points evenly. After completing missions, points get distributed among everyone. Since points come from team effort, it doesn't break the guard force rules. Bak Zhuang gritted his teeth. We're always getting targeted. Don't stress too much, the scores are close. We still got a shot at turning this around. Let's roll. Back at Lam Than Tam's mansion, after days of grinding the nation, Han Qian told Lai Thudong about saving a merchant convoy. Lai laughed. Oh, that merchant girl you saved. Turns out he didn't get the hint. She keeps calling her son. No wonder the girl kept pestering me days ago asking how to awaken into a powerful spirit contract. You know the master's close with Thudin, and her grandpa's an old friend. The merchant family's one of the big 5 companies, backing the tech trade. They mainly research high-end weapons for spirit contract masters. To me, there's no difference between spirit contracts and regular folks. Thu Din's like my own granddaughter. Li Thudong explained, so her background's not simple. Han Qian sighed. The merchants tried to make her give up, but she went rogue. Didn't you just mess up a good thing? It's fine. The convoy was actually protecting something meant for me. But this is also what I prepared for you guys. Li Thudong placed a suitcase on the table. What's that? Ha Yuvi stared blankly at 2 vials, 1 blue and 1 purple inside the case. Breakthrough drugs. Li Thudong replied, I heard. This drug can boost strength, reaction speed, defense, and even talent. Not sure how true that is. What are you standing there for? Each of you grab a bottle and chug it, Li Shutong urged. Thanks, sir, Han Zhan and Ha Yuvi said in unison. Got it. Each took a bottle and downed it immediately. Han Zhan instantly felt a surge of power flooding through his veins. He broke through to the 2nd level of Spirit Tamer. Ha Yuvi also broke through to the 2nd stage at the same time, gaining a new divine attribute called Heavenly Will 4 symbols. Thought it was Heavenly Will, but it's actually the celestial symbols of wind, fire, thunder, and lightning, unlocking the spring wildfire flute, unlocking the 6-ding thunder flute. The breakthrough process finished, and after a moment Han Zhan stabilized and exclaimed, breakthrough drugs are seriously awesome. Not only did I level up, but I also got more flute skills thanks to UV's new divine attribute. Crazy surprise, my power just skyrocketed. Ha UV was amazed too. Li Shutong nodded. Good job. The 2 didn't disappoint me. Just then, Han Zhan got a call from Captain Bai Yang. Check the mission list for Deep Blue City. A new mission just popped up. Red alert, a pirate race appeared near Deep Blue City. Send someone to eliminate them immediately. Mission points 1000. Danger level 3 plus quantity. Unlimited recommendations. Partial acceptance. All guardians can take this mission. 3rd tier Do Pirate race. Bai Yang emphasized 1 mature Do Pirate equals 3 2nd-level Spirit Tamers. Are we taking this mission? Han Zhan wasn't about to miss this chance and ordered a meetup at West Ha Street to discuss face-to-face. Let's go! Then he grabbed Ha Yuvi's hand and pulled him along. UV got a new mission again. Let's roll. This time he really became a lonely old man. Li Shutong watched the young couple walk off hand in hand and sighed. Then his expression turned worried as he muttered, Do pirates, huh? They're really causing chaos. At that moment, Fuck came forward to report. The master found Miss Ling Zhen, but she doesn't want to meet him. Where is she? Fuck answered. Chung Shanghai turned back to the male lead. As soon as Bai Yang saw Han Zhan, he asked the captain, Have you thought it through? Going or not? Why not go? This is a chance to climb the rankings, but the danger level of Do Pirates is way too high. Even our rookies might not win. Han Zhan suddenly asked Bai Xiong, Do you know what Red Alert means? It means if we don't wipe out the Do Pirates, once they fully evolve, they'll destroy an entire city. As a Wish Guardian team, we don't fight for points, we fight to protect humanity. Hearing this, Yi Fan smiled and raised his drink. Captain, you're amazing. Now, let's finish this bottle. Bai Xiong had no objections and replied determinedly, Understood, I'll go. They started the vehicle and headed to the mission location. When the team arrived, the whole city was shrouded in a strange black fog. He and his teammates didn't rush in, but stood on a nearby rooftop to observe. That's the Do Pirate's skill. The black veil can isolate all senses, cut off the outside world, creating its own separate realm. Anything covered by it, living or not, rapidly ages, decomposes, and ultimately faces extinction. Brown Speed couldn't help but feel scared and asked the captain, Did the higher-ups send us to deal with the Do? Why announce the mission outside if the Do.Gia are involved? Don't they trust us? These Do.Gia pack a serious punch, and we'll need a solid rotation of people to draw their fire. He explained, so that's how it is. Don't rush in yet. Let the first group go in first. He smiled and used binoculars to watch Han Qian's group from afar. Han Qian, knowing the danger of the Black Veil, warned, This is the Black Veil created by the Do.Gia. Everyone stay sharp. Bak Zung stepped off the vehicle and asked to confirm. Are we ready? Once inside, there's no turning back. Ditchfam confidently replied, This won't affect me at all. I'm good. Don't worry, nothing's gonna happen, Han Qian reassured. So your whole team is heading into the Black Veil together. Inside it was dead silent, a dark, desolate scene that sent chills down your spine. Han Qian led the way, cautiously scanning around while encouraging Mui Trung tribe is here. Stay sharp. Hayuvi, looking scared, said, I feel like someone's watching us, like invisible eyes tracking every move. A strange sound echoed, making Hayuvi flinch and grab Han Qian's arm. Did you hear that? There's some weird noise and it feels like something's sucking our life force, Bok Zung said with a blank expression. The Black Veil has a power called life extraction. As long as we stay inside our energy, we'll be drained slowly until we die. Ditch Fam dropped his usual chill act, getting serious. According to the data, we only have half an hour. Within that time, if we can't destroy the Black Veil from inside, we'll become food for the Du.Jia's growth. You're talking about that black orb, right? Bok Duong pointed in one direction. Exactly. That's it. Ditch Fam confirmed, so we just need to destroy it. Just as Han Qian finished speaking, his foot suddenly sank down. Then the others experienced the same, like they were stuck in quicksand. The worst was Bok Zung. Her body kept sinking deeper. No matter what she did, she couldn't break free. Seeing Bok Zung about to be swallowed, Dik Fam quickly grabbed her hand, trying to pull her out. Han Qian was about to help when, suddenly, a barrier appeared, splitting the four-person team into two groups, Ditch Fam and Bok Zung on one side, Han Qian and Ha Uvi on the other. This is the second skill that the Du.Jia grants to any life-given object. Han Qian looked at the huge wall in front of him and explained, what does life-given mean? Life can be taken or granted. Life-given things aren't just humans. They can be weapons items, even the ground itself. If that's the case, let's destroy it together. Without hesitation, Hayuvi transformed into her Kaylin form to fight alongside. Han Qian responded with a nod, then strummed a tune that shot out beams of light, attacking the barrier, cracking it into pieces. But quickly, the wall's chunks reassembled as if nothing had happened, leaving Han Qian stunned. Crazy regeneration power, we can't take it down right now, and it didn't stop there. In a blink, multiple other walls popped up surrounding Han Qian. While Han Qian was focused on finding a way out, suddenly a strange creature swooped in from behind. Luckily, just as it was about to hit him, Han Qian noticed and dodged. After the missed attack, the creature flew straight through the wall and vanished. Han Qian watched that creature with suspicion, silently wondering if he was seeing things. Was that really it? What the hell is that? Han Qian didn't answer, but quickly moved, urging everyone to run fast. Meanwhile, Han Qian's team stepped into the darkness. The Yi team stayed outside the safe zone observing. It took them a while before they dared to act. Following his orders, everyone slowly advanced into the darkness. Looks like no one else is coming to die here. Be careful, he warned. Brown-haired Confident said, Don't worry, Captain. We're all third-level Spirit Pact Masters with third-level Spirit Pacts, so we'll definitely complete the mission. Yeah, and if things go south, we can always retreat. Another teammate agreed. But just as they finished talking, something happened. The ground started shaking like it was soft and mushy. Except for him and the brown-haired guy, everyone else got swallowed up. Watch out, the brown-haired shouted. Through the thick dust he saw him, rushing over, anxiously, asking, Captain, you okay? He still stood with his back turned to the brown-haired guy, silent. The brown-haired approached and patted his shoulder. Before the captain could say a word, he suddenly snapped like he'd gone crazy, grabbing and choking him. While the brown-haired panicked, a bug crawled out of his head and flew straight into the brown-haired guy's eye, making him scream in pain. Meanwhile, Ditch Fam and Bok Zung were trying to find their way to reunite with Han Qian and take down UV. On the way, Bok Zung thanked Ditch Fam. Walking along the wall, she said, This fake doo-doo is trying to destroy us. One by one, huh? Kinda twisted. Suddenly, Bok Duong asked, Can't you feel those invisible threads? Ditch Fam laughed. Yeah, but they can't touch me. Man, I'm jealous you're that gifted. No worries about survival. Isn't being unable to die a punishment too? After a while of fumbling around, Ditch Fam got frustrated. They couldn't get out. Whatever, forget it. Who says we can't get out? Ditch Fam looked surprised at Bok Zung. You got a plan. Bok Zung went to the wall and used her hypnotic words. Wake up, you're just lifeless dirt. Instantly, cracks appeared and collapsed right before their eyes, revealing a familiar silhouette faintly through the dust. Bak Duong was still confused when suddenly he screamed in fear. "Captain, watch out!" Han Qian heard Bak Duong's shout and turned around, just in time to see rocks flying toward him. He jumped high, narrowly escaping being crushed. After catching his breath, Han Qian looked at teammate Bak Shuang. "So you two are here too?" "Captain, I just used my talent to break the maze." "It's not far," Bak Shuang said as she ran toward Han Qian, unaware a giant stone fist was heading straight for her and Dich Pham. From behind, Bak Shuang did. Pham warned carefully. "Behind you," Han Qian shouted, then dashed at top speed to smash the stone hand before it could hit Bak Shuang and Dich Pham. Facing the giant monster, Han Qian immediately used his wind staff to create a tornado countering the shockwave from the beast. Although no one died, the monster's attack still blasted Dich Pham and Bak Shuang flying backward. Han Qian analyzed the situation. These monsters were all summoned by the Du-Du. We have to destroy their core fast. Once it opens the dark veil, its core merges with the inner world. These monsters were all summoned by the vagrant sorcerer. We gotta destroy their core fast. Once it unleashes its dark aura, its core merges with the whole inner world. The screen went black, leaving only this black orb. Destroying the orb will wipe out the mature parasite. Don't worry, we've got your back. With that, Ares and Yifan flew forward. Han Zhen the monster couldn't wait and charged ahead to attack. Seeing this, Yifan activated his immortality skill, blocking a punch from the monster, while telling Captain Han Zhan, "My immortality can only hold up 6 hits. You better come up with a plan fast. Hang in there a bit longer. I'll take out the core myself." Without hesitation, Han Zhan sprinted straight to the black orb, activating his thunder strike with the jade rod. A bolt of lightning struck the black orb from above. A nearby stone monster preparing an attack was blasted away by the lightning. Cracks began to form on the surface of the black orb, growing bigger and bigger, until boom, the black orb shattered into pieces. Yifan smiled brightly and shouted, "We did it!" But before he could savor the victory, he heard a dry cough. Yifan rushed over, and Han Zhan spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, his stomach pierced by an arm. Weakly, he said, "You pathetic humans won't escape this." The owner of the arm that attacked Han Zhan spoke. Yifan couldn't believe his eyes, his voice trembling. "A mature parasite." "Surprised, huh? This mature parasite is the surprise I've been saving for you." Bai Xiong grinned wickedly. From behind the parasite approached, proudly patting Bai Xiong's shoulder. "I disguised it with a flower spell, and kept it with me waiting for the perfect moment to unleash it and finish you off at the last second." Han Zhan spat blood again, glaring at Bai Xiong with fury. "Why did you do this? Why? I just want to wipe you all out." Seeing Bai Xiong's twisted mix of laughter and tears, Yifan felt uneasy. What the hell was that? "That's the second time. This time, no doubt about it. It's the second time I've seen it." Yifan turned to Han Zhan. "Second time, you know what's going on?" "Bai Xiong's been infected. I just saw a silver bug in her pupil, the legendary parasitic bug. It's a level 4 parasite with insane power, a real brain parasite. Any creature infected loses control of their body completely. It takes over the host's brain and controls them fully. Not only that, it can reproduce asexually and split. In history, Lam Tin had a level 7 powerhouse infected by this parasite. He slaughtered an entire city he was supposed to protect. Countless lives were lost. The organization had to spend massive time and effort to kill him. The losses were devastating. This parasite species should have been wiped out 32 years ago in Warzone 1. So why is it showing up here now? After Han Zhan's explanation, Yifan immediately stepped forward, spreading his arms and saying, "Captain, you go ahead. I'll use my immortal talent to shield you." Han Zhan shook his head. No running. The mature parasite's black screen expanded tenfold after absorbing the dead young parasite. "At our current speed, we won't make it to the edge before it catches up and massacres us," Yifan said. "Just help me buy time with a tune." At that moment, Han Zhan closed his eyes, activating his wound healing skill on his stomach, which slowly began to seal. Seeing this, Bai Xiong. Han Qian closed his eyes, activating his wound healing skill on his belly, which gradually sealed up. Bak Shuang saw this. "Yelling out loud won't do. Stop him now." The pseudo-adult Dudot immediately obeyed and shot an arrow at Han Qian, instantly activating a shield skill for Han Qian. Your so-called immortal strike is just a fake. Your chaos form never had a real body. The immortal white skeleton rushed to Dich Pham, whispering wild words into his ear. It was about to run further. Han Qian was blocked by Dich Pham's iron-headed strike. Fake or not? That's not up to her to decide. At that moment, the kick... Oh... Real parasite bug flew out from the white skeleton's head, lunging to bite Dich Pham's hand to crawl inside, but was firmly grabbed by him, pulled out. The immortal had 2 lives left. Reading the notification, Dich Pham angrily crushed the parasite bug in his palm. How interesting. Let's see how long you can hold out. With that Dudot, the pseudo-adult launched a powerful palm strike. Dich Pham activated his immortality skill, barely blocking the hit. Seeing his protective shield starting to crack, Dich Pham anxiously turned to Han Qian and asked, "How much longer will you and Dich Pham handle the parasite? I'll deal with Dudot." The pseudo-adult. Han Qian freed Yu-Vi from the spiritual contract form and gave orders. Then he began activating the 8 extremes. Fist. The first extreme unlocked. Didn't expect you guys to force me to go all out. Han Qian stomped on the ground to gain momentum, then leapt up to Dudot, the pseudo-adult, unleashing a full power punch. A massive beam of light, with tremendous destructive force, appeared. Too bad it missed the target because Dudot, the pseudo-adult, dodged just in time. Humanity this young but already packing serious power. You really caught me off guard. But let's see how many hits you can take. Finishing his sentence, Dudot, the pseudo-adult, pulled a sword from his mouth and slashed, creating a sword energy beam flying straight at Han Qian. Han Qian punched it away instantly, nullifying Dudot's attack. The pseudo-adult. Seeing this, Dudot, the pseudo-adult, was shocked and stared at the gloves Han Qian wore. Those gloves. How did they end up in your hands? Over a decade ago, they defeated a bug king on the battlefield. They belong to the strong, but you're not. I'm not the strongest, but you're no bug king either, Han Qian said while furiously attacking Dudot, the pseudo-adult. But Dudot wasn't just any form. He smoothly dodged. Han Qian kept talking about how gifting you these gloves shows your connection. With that person isn't ordinary. Killing you would definitely hurt him. That really fires me up. So the two kept clashing, locked in a stalemate until Dudot, the pseudo-adult, took a punch from Han Qian, and Han Qian took a sword strike from Dudot. Then they briefly separated. Damn it, I have to destroy him before he absorbs all the energy from the juvenile parasite. Otherwise, no chance of winning. There's only one shot. One life, no more delays. A decisive fight is the only hope to survive. Making up his mind, Han Qian channeled his inner power, activated the 8 extremes fist, and dashed forward. Dudot, the pseudo-adult, threw a punch that tore Dudot, the pseudo-adult, into pieces. "You lost," Han Qian said arrogantly. "No, you're the loser." Instantly, the scattered parts of Dudot, the pseudo-adult, gathered back together, reforming his form once again. "Damn it, it's all over now, Dudot," the pseudo-adult said smugly. Black bones thickened all around him. Just then, Dich Pham rushed over to report to the captain that the white bone had disappeared. What Han Qian just turned his head to look at Dich Pham when hundreds of chains flew in to trap him. Dich Pham and the UV squad trapped them inside, making escape impossible. Meanwhile, Dudot, the pseudo-adult, gathered his strength to form a massive boulder. "No one can leave here. Everyone must die." With that, Dudot, the pseudo-adult, hurled the boulder straight at Han Qian's group. The boulder looked like a meteor hurtling toward them. Still, Dich Pham stepped up, using all his strength to block the boulder while urging the captain to run. The immortal's weightless boulder grew heavier by the second. Dich Pham could feel he couldn't hold on much longer. Every bone felt like it was about to shatter. But for his teammates, he gritted his teeth and held on, though he couldn't help but scream in pain. Damn, Dich Pham's about to break. Han Qian knew but was powerless to help. Just then, a familiar voice rang out. 6th extreme, strike extreme opening. Following the shout, a giant golden hand appeared in the sky, slamming down on Dudot's beak, smashing it to pieces and wiping him out. The boulder vanished too. What the hell? The 3 rookies stared up at Li Thudong without blinking. Lucky I showed up just in time. Li Tudong smiled and said, "It's the master." Han Qin gasped and then passed out. Captain Ditchfam and the UV squad said in unison as they caught Han Qin's falling body. "You guys take old 9 back first. We still gotta clean up here." Clean up while Ditchfam was still trying to grasp Li Tudong's meaning from the thick smoke where Dudot was destroyed. A real bug suddenly shot out. On a bright morning at the hospital, Han Qin suddenly sat up in bed and shouted, "Master!" "Careful!" UV happily shouted Han Qin. "You're finally awake." Han Qin, still dazed, muttered, "Where am I? Why am I here?" "Careful," UV replied. "This is the hospital," she continued. "After you passed out, the master cleared the area infested by the real bugs. But he couldn't find the queen bug then, so he couldn't wipe them out completely. So the master brought you here to recover." Han Qin asked worriedly, "What about Ditchfam? Is he okay? Careful." UV sighed and answered, "Saig Ditchfam's in the ICU. At the last moment when the meteor fell, he gave it his all to stop it, but his bones and meridians shattered completely. Without his immortal talent, he'd probably be dead by now. He's alive but seriously injured. But his immortal talent is slowly healing the damage." A medical staff member entered loudly. "Are you two Ditchfam's partners? Have you seen him anywhere?" Han Qin and careful UV exchanged awkward glances. Han Qin asked the staff, "What happened to Ditchfam?" The staff answered bluntly. "He's missing," Han Qin asked suspiciously. "Missing," suddenly standing up as if recalling something. "Careful," UV said. "I remember? The master said we have to find the real bugs ourselves. The white bone's disappearance is connected to the real bugs. He must have gone looking for the white bone and the bugs." Han Qin stepped down from the bed and said, "The white bone is a crucial lead. 4th-level real bugs can reproduce asexually and clone themselves, but if you kill the queen bug, you can wipe out all the larvae at once." Han Qin added, "Maybe Ditchfam figured that out. Figured something out and investigated on his own, then replied to Ha UV. There's one more thing. The Guardian organization deducted 100 accumulated points from our team, 27. Han Qin frowned and asked, what Ha UV seriously explained that since the final mission was completed by the teacher, other teams were judged to have failed and had corresponding points deducted. Han Qin, frustrated, said, "We risked our lives fighting out there, and behind our backs they're playing dirty tricks targeting us. Not only did they deduct our points, but they also took the fake vagrant's body. All the materials were sent back to the Guardian headquarters." After a pause, Han Qin asked if the teacher said anything. Ha UV replied, "The teacher said this is between us and the Guardian organization. It's a turf war, and others won't interfere." Han Qin repeated her words, "Others won't interfere." He thought to himself that the teacher was clearly giving us the green light to act. "We've got a foothold here." Han Qin fired up, grabbed Ha UV's hand and shouted, "Let's go!" Ha UV worriedly said, "You just recovered. Where do you plan to go?" The main guy didn't hesitate to take back what's ours. Inside the room, a crowd was buzzing. This time, Captain Zhao is really generous. Those are level 4 insect tribe materials, and he's sharing them with all teams. Huh? Isn't it because we helped him control the reputation points? The chatter was cut off by a loud noise from the door. Han Qin kicked it open, looking at the crowd. The main guy shouted, "Zhao Hu, get out here now!" One of Zhao Hu's henchmen stepped out, saw Han Qin and smirked, answering casually, "Captain Han, why didn't you give us a heads up before coming?" Han Qin impatiently repeated, "Zhao Hu, get out here." Zhao Hu's henchman hid something behind his back, taunting, "Captain Han, you're pretty cocky, huh? Watch your mouth." Then the henchman grabbed a dagger and lunged forward like it was nothing, yelling, "This isn't a place for your nonsense." But before he could do anything, Han Qin landed a punch and slapped him across the face. Zhao Hu's henchman was slammed face first onto the floor. Han Qin, full of fire, said, "Has anyone ever told you your smile makes people want to throw down?" The crowd around buzzed. "One hit and he's down brutal. I've recorded everything. I'll send it to the higher-ups so they see how undisciplined Han Qin is." The henchman who just got knocked down charged again, shouting, "You bastard, I'm gonna kill you." But Han Qian caught his arm clean, leaving him no chance to react. Han Qian calmly twisted the henchman's arm until it broke, saying, "Still wanna rush me?" Looking for death. A voice interrupted, making Han Qian turn around. "Enough." Han Qian saw Zhao Hu and said, "Zhao Hu, finally, you show your face." Zhao Hu's face bulged with veins. "What the hell do you want?" Han Qian declared clearly. "I want you to apologize to me and my team." Zhao Hu sneered. "Yeah, in your dreams." Then he threatened. Xiaozhang had already sent the video to headquarters at noon. Han Qian confidently showed his phone. Sent it already straight to Su Mingxian, the third commander of headquarters and the supervisory team. Zhao Hu crossed his arms and boldly said, "Just wait to get punished. Headquarters will definitely crack down hard when they see you beating someone." Ha Yuvi nervously whispered, "Han Qian, I'm kinda worried." He calmly reassured her, "Don't worry, the teachers got our backs. They won't dare do anything." In response, Zhao Hu heard little Zhang An, trembling with fear, whisper to him, "The headquarters has replied." Zhao Hu, still excited, asked again, "What's the update?" Little Zhang continued, "The headquarters said this is an internal matter of the Deep Blue City Guard organization and told us to handle it ourselves." Zhao He was stunned and asked, "What about the supervisory committee set up by the war zones?" Furious, Zhao Hu threw the earpiece off and cursed, "Damn bureaucratic crap." Han Zhan already knew this would happen. He asked Zhao Hu again, "Have you figured out how to apologize and compensate?" Yet Zhao Hu was backed into a corner. He told Han Zhan, "So what kind of compensation do you want to make me stop?" Like he was just waiting for this line. The male lead replied simply, "The materials for the vagrant team that the 27 squad couldn't kill outside the city. I heard you grabbed them, all right?" Han Zhan declared. "So I want you to open the guard organization's treasure vault so I can pick items on behalf of the whole team until we're satisfied." Zhao Hu still talked tough. "The guard's treasure vault is full of carefully refined stuff. The more valuable the item, the stricter the rules. That's absolutely off limits." Han Zhan patiently countered, "No way, I only have 2 hands. I can only carry a few things at most. If you can't meet this request, change the Captain Zhao. I seriously doubt your sincerity." Zhao Hu broke out in a cold sweat, hesitating, but realizing it made sense. If only one person goes in to pick until satisfied, they can only take a few things at best. Then Zhao Hu said, "Fine, only you are allowed in. But when you come out, you can't hide anything anywhere else." Han Zhan released Zhao Hu's underling and replied, "A promise is a promise." Han Zhan glanced and snorted softly, muttering, "No hiding stuff anywhere else when you come out, right?" Another of his men spun a ring on his index finger at the Deep Blue City Guard's treasure vault, and the big door opened. Little Zhang anxiously asked Zhao Hu, "Captain Zhao, that guy's inside. Now there won't be any problems, right?" Opposite Little Zhang's urgency, Zhao Hu calmly said, "There are at least tens of thousands of items in this vault. Some even I don't recognize. And that guy, a fresh graduate from Qingdang Academy, will definitely be overwhelmed inside, not knowing what to do." Zhao Hu grinned slyly and added, "Even if he knows all the treasures, with only 2 hands, how many can he actually carry?" Little Zhang, still worried, reluctantly nodded along with Zhao Hu. Yeah. Captain Zhao makes sense about the vault." Han Zhan held the 100 Treasures reward book, carefully examining every corner of the vault, praising, "Wow, there really are a lot of things here. Lucky I brought the notes my second senior brother gave me, otherwise I wouldn't recognize any of this." Han Zhan looked at the sparkling items hanging on the wall and said, "So these are the subordinate artifacts of the 3rd-level Heine clan and the core wings of the 5th-level Ghost Moth clan." At Han Zhan's feet were glittering flowers and herbs. He focused and continued, "Eternal East Lotus Branch Herb Half Edge." He looked up, saw an item hanging on the wall and exclaimed, "This is a 6th-level Bish G-Star. Using it as the main material, you can totally craft a full set of defensive gear." Han Zhan gripped the ring on his index finger, muttering, "All top-tier stuff." Han Zhan raised his hand and shouted, "I want it all." Every treasure in the vault was sucked into that ring. An hour later, outside, Zhao Hu was losing patience. looking at his watch and saying, "Done." Furry treasure in the vault got sucked into that ring. An hour later, outside, Trio Ho was losing patience, checking his watch, and said, "Enough." It's been an hour, and he's still not out. At that moment, Han Qian stepped out and apologized for the wait. Little Trong turned his head and said that Captain Trio's team had already left. Hauvi stepped forward and asked, "Han Qian, how did it go, man?" Smiling at Hauvi, he replied, "I'll tell you once we're back." Han Qian grabbed Hauvi's hand and said, "Let's head home," leading the way. Captain Trio Ho's eyes, Little Trong scratched his head, puzzled, wondering, "Weird, why didn't he take anything with him?" Trio Ho grabbed his phone and said, "Let me call the manager and ask." He dialed and said, "Johan Qian took a while. So how many things did he take?" The voice hesitated. "He took 5. Before finishing, Trio Ho cut in. Five things. "Yeah," Trio Ho continued. "Exactly 5 items. A bit much, but luckily just 5 things he took. Today, sooner or later, he'll return both principal and interest." The voice on the other end quickly corrected, "Not 5 items, 5 parts. He raided half of our treasure vault. Half of the vault was completely looted." Trio Ho was stunned after hearing this. He shouted, "What?" Little Trong overheard and was shocked too, saying, "Is Captain Trio nuts? He actually took half." Trio Ho grimaced and said, "That move was cold-blooded. This entire vault belongs to the Protectorate organization. If he took just 1 or 2 items, maybe we could cover it up." Trio Ho gritted his teeth and added, "But in a blink, half the vault is gone. Can the Protectorate organization just let this slide?" After speaking, Trio Ho turned to Little Trong and ordered, "Little Trong, report everything that happened here to headquarters immediately. Headquarters will definitely..." Before he finished, Little Trong replied, "Captain True, we've already reported to headquarters. They just responded with 5 words. Trio Ho asked curiously, "What 5 words?" He answered, "Just resolve it peacefully." Trio Ho scratched his head, frozen for 5 seconds, wondering. Night fell at Han Qian's place. Han Qian was staring at the ring on the table, thinking to himself, "This time I'll teach Trio Ho a lesson to see if he dares to act cocky next time." Hauvi, wrapped in a towel, stepped over and said, "Han Qian, it's super late now. Hurry up and get some sleep." Han Qian blushed and asked, "Sleep together?" Hauvi replied shamelessly, "Last time when you got hurt, I was so worried I'd lose you." Hauvi clung to Han Qian like a starving wolf and continued, "So no matter what happens today, I won't let you off." Suddenly, a loud noise erupted. The door was flung open, creating an awkward moment. Ling Zhen yawned and said, "Who's there this late?" Han Qian and Hauvi froze. Hauvi shyly stepped aside, blushing, and said, "Since when was there someone in the house?" Han Qian asked Ling Zhen. "You, who are you?" She answered calmly, "You're in my house and don't even know who I am." Han Qian finally realized who she was. He said, "You're Sun Nu's teacher, right?" Ling Zhen introduced herself. "Yes, I'm Ling Zhen. You're Han Qian, right? I've heard about you." The system screen immediately displayed Ling Zhen's info: Spirit Contract Level E, Mysterious Transformation Form, Divine Farmer. Piki no divine attribute. Han Qian looked at the system screen and thought, so she's one of the 10 ancient divine weapons the Divine Farmer Peak. Han Qian rubbed his eyes in disbelief and blurted out, "Hey, aren't you wearing anything? Is that really okay?" Ling Zhen knew what he meant and replied, "This is my most comfortable state at home. Staying like this helps me find, seeking inspiration and creating." Hauvi questioned again. Li Lingzhen confidently replied, "That's right. Didn't our grandpa warn you guys? I'm a best-selling author online," Li Lingzhen said with solid reasoning as she stepped closer to Hauvi and continued, "Exactly. You just messed with us. Do you want to keep going?" Li Lingzhen smirked slyly. "If you don't want to continue." Li Lingzhen glanced at Han Zhan with sparkling eyes and asked, "So shall we keep going or what?" Han Zhen was dumbfounded, unable to understand. Hauvi grabbed Li Lingzhen's shoulder and asked her to wait a sec. "You guys just met for the first time, no emotional foundation at all. How can you rush like this?" Li Lingzhen shot back, "What about signing the contract need an emotional foundation? It's just a simple contract." Hauvi hesitated and asked, "You said it's just signing a contract?" Li Lingzhen didn't get her meaning and replied, If not, then what? Hayuvi lowered her head, feeling shy. Hanjan chatted with Li Lingjun. Your divine talent is legit. If you sign a contract with me, I can use divine light to help you awaken for the second time. Li Lingjun lit up with excitement. Really? She immediately made a speechless gesture and hurriedly said, "Let's sign the contract quickly." Hanjan saw her rush and panicked, shouting, "Wait! Wait!" "What are you doing?" Li Lingjun replied, "signing the contract." Hanjan blushed, grabbed Li Lingjun's hand to stop her from freaking out and said, "Signing a contract and taking off clothes. What's that got to do with anything?" Li Lingjun explained her legit reasoning. "I'm a best-selling author. In my book, signing contracts requires close contact to complete." Hanjan and Hayuvi both stared blankly. Hanjan sighed helplessly. "Looks like I gotta save you a bit." He raised his hand and a glowing chain wrapped around the two of them. Hanjan shouted, "Divine light!" Instantly, a surge of power inside Li Lingjun was unleashed from the ancient divine cauldron of Shenong. Li Lingjun screamed, clutching her body. "So hot! Feels like a stream of heat is flowing into me." She added, "This feels amazing." The system status popped up again. Li Lingjun, Contract Spirit. Level, SSS, Morphing. Form, Ancient Divine Cauldron. Shenong Cauldron, Divine Spirit Cultivation. Complete. Divine Spirit Cultivation allows geniuses with rich spiritual energy, treasures or materials from the insect clan, to activate the Shenong Cauldron to refine and absorb the ultimate primal essence. It condenses spiritual energy and restores their true form. Hanjan looked at the screen and exclaimed, "Spirit cultivation complete." So this talent can actually extract spiritual energy. Later, we can easily get pure spiritual energy to boost and break through, right? The glowing light around them vanished. Everything returned to normal, but only Li Lingjun's clothes were all messed up. Li Lingjun was so happy she couldn't believe it, wondering, is this really my talent? Hanjan confirmed, "Your talent's awesome. If not, let's test it a bit now." Hayuvi shyly said, "You guys go ahead. I'm gonna get some water." As she walked out the door, Hayuvi muttered, "This little sis is really a contract spirit level, truly surprising." While Hayuvi was about to pour some water, a shady voice echoed from inside the room, making her blush bright red. "Done yet? I want to get in already." "Wait, slow down. Hurry up. It hurts," came the voices. That made Hayuvi turn back and come in. I'll put this here and pause for a bit. It's full now. No need to make more stuff." Hayuvi flung the door wide open and shouted, "It's past midnight now. You guys inside the room." Hanchin was holding all kinds of rare herbs and treasures, bringing them in. Lai Lin Chan's legs were in the alchemy furnace state. Hanqian turned and saw Hayuvi coming in, then asked, "What's up?" "Uvi, ha? Uvi," awkwardly scratched her head and replied, "Nothing. Nothing at all." Inside, she felt uneasy. Turns out, they were refining materials, putting ingredients inside. Li Lin Chan, in the alchemy furnace state, shouted, "Refining's done. Keep going." Hanchin held the successfully refined product and praised. "How come you refine so much? You're seriously badass." Hayuvi curiously asked. "What's this?" Hanchin explained. "Spirit energy pills can be used to boost a portion of your spirit energy." Hayuvi was surprised and said, "That's dope." Lai Lin Chan transformed back into human form, then lunged at Hanchin and shouted, "Hanchin, the alchemy fire inside me hasn't died out yet." Lai Lin Chan, like a heavy body pillow, leaned on Hanchin. Li Lin Chan half-jokingly scolded, "Hurry up, the foot fire's still burning. Put it out and pull me out." Hanchin blushed and yelled, Don't. Hanchin grabbed Hayuvi's hand and said, "Uvi, save me." Li? Lin. Chan yawned, drooling. Hayuvi was super sleepy. Lai Lin Chan blushed, feeling like she was soaking in a hot spring, muttering, "So comfy, feels like I'm about to ascend." Hanchin hiccuped once. Hayuvi whispered a vague question, "Chien, can I get some too?" Lai Lin? Chan didn't know what to say. Just yawned. The three of them messed around until dawn. Early next morning on day 2, Hanchin said, "You guys said you were too tired. We struggled all night." Li Lin Chan stood up and praised Han Qian. Didn't expect you to be this badass with so much knowledge. Haiyu agreed and praised. After these interactions, I feel the power in my body is way purer. Han Qian put on his shoes and stood up, shouting, "All right, let's get to the main work." Li Lin Chan asked curiously, "What main work?" Han Qian answered, "Investigate the parasite absorption. Look for the missing people from Team 127. She asked again, "Who's missing?" Haiyu held up a photo of Bok Sung and told her. Li Lin Chan looked at the picture thoughtfully and said, I think I've met this person before. Isn't she the one who usually comes to the dance hall to practice at night?" Haiyu asked in surprise. "How do you know that?" Li Lin Chan replied thoughtfully. "Because I often come to this dance hall. Vai Fong Dance Hall is the biggest dance hall in Toan Lam City. Don't you guys know?" Han Qian said. "That's great. Didn't expect we'd get a lead so fast." Han Qian raised a spray bottle in his hand, sprayed it on both of them and said, "Spray this on. Let's head straight to Vai Fong Dance Hall." Li Lin Chan pinched her nose and asked, "What's this?" "It smells awful," Han Qian replied. "Its rhododendron bone spray parasites are super sensitive to the smell of rhododendron. When they smell it, their temper goes wild, even crazy." Inside Vai Fong Dance Hall, the ladies dressed seductively were dancing. Han Qian went to the counter and asked the bartender, "Hey, do you have a girl named Hong Wan Vi here?" The bartender asked back. Hong Wan Vi. Turns out the bartender was a scar-faced dude looking rough. He grinned creepily and said, "Is the guest just now talking about Hong Wan Vi?" Han Qian repeated, "Yeah, Hong Wan Vi." Everyone froze for a moment when they heard that name. The bartender, who had been glaring earlier, suddenly smiled and raised the bottle he was holding, shouting, "Yo, this customer just said Hong Wan Vian will cover the tab for everyone here, including the whole party." The crowd around went wild, cheering loudly. Han Qian looked suspicious and asked, "What's going on?" The bartender chuckled and said, "A customer came here yesterday. He owed a big bar tab. Then he said someone would come by. And if you say the 3 words Hong Wan Vi, the whole party would be paid for, including clearing the debt." Haiyu looked confused and asked, "Who is that?" "That shady dude," Han Qian replied. "No doubt it's definitely Ditch Pham." The bartender pulled out a wooden box and handed it to Han Qian, saying, "This is what he left behind. He told me to give it to you personally. I wanted to check it out but couldn't open it." Han Qian curiously asked, "What's inside?" He easily opened the box and took something out. Haiyu and Li Lin Chan leaned in to look, saying there was a piece of paper inside. The paper said that in February 2023, the captain of the Ditch Min City security team successfully discovered a nearby location and returned. The city security organization rewarded him. The whole team went to the Vai Fong Club to celebrate. In March 2023, due to special reasons, Ditch Min was transferred to the front lines, and there was no news that month. Vice Captain Trio Ho replaced him as captain. The bitches of the corrosive worm species have a 1-month reproductive cycle and reproduce asexually. Each month, they split into a larva that kills the mother. All the larvae die afterward. Li Lin Chan finished reading and asked, "So this was left by your teammate for you?" "What's he trying to tell you?" Han Qian said. "The parasite division started in February, meaning there are currently 7 people infected." Li Lin Chan realized, "So that's how it is." Han Qian told Li Lin Chan and Haiyu. "Hang tight, guys. My stomach's acting up. I'm gonna hit the restroom." At the men's bathroom, as Han Qian was entering, a man in a green suit was using the facilities ahead. Passing by, Han Qian deliberately bumped into the man. He said, "Make way, I'm in a rush." While Han Qian was doing his business, he muttered, "Phew, feels good," when the man in the suit stopped. He sniffed and wondered, "What's that smell?" The man turned sharply, glaring at Han Qian with cold steel eyes, veins bulging on his forehead. He said, "That nausea smell. It's rhododendron flowers." The man charged, throwing a punch at Han Qian, yelling, "I hate rhododendrons the most." Han Qian just coldly stared at him like a fly buzzing around. Han Qian lightly threw a palm strike, sending the man flying 8 meters away. Something tiny popped out of the man's eyeball. Han Qian grabbed the creature, muttering to himself, "A real parasite. Even caught the bug keeps wriggling." Han Qian applied a precise force, spraying the bug with red blood. Haiyu and Li Lin Chan heard the loud noise and rushed into the men's bathroom. Hyuvi anxiously asked, "What happened?" She looked at the man in the suit unconscious on the floor and asked, "Han Qian, is that you?" He replied, "A real parasite had infected the Vaifeng Club boss, but I took care of it." Hyuvi said, "7 people are infected and 1 just showed up. So who are the others?" Lilin Chan chimed in, following her usual writing habit. "In my story, the bad guys are usually the people around the main character. Look at them, the members of Deech Min's team. Chances are they've been infected too." Han Qian quickly wrapped it up. "Let's get out of here first, then hunt for new clues." Before Han Qian could step out the door, a handsome dude with a knife charged straight at him, shouting like he had a vendetta. "Han Qian, I'm gonna kill you." As usual, Han just dodged and coldly stared down the attacker. This time, Han Qian hit him with a lightning kick that sent the guy flying 2 meters. Once again, a weird creature popped out of the man's forehead. Han Qian smashed that strange creature with a fiery palm strike mixed with dust and sand. Watching this made me break out in a cold sweat. Turns out it was a parasitic insect called Thuk Chi Trung Hyuv when looking at the motionless man on the floor. I've met these guys before. Seems like he's a subordinate of Zhao Hu. Han Qian snapped awake, picking up from Hyuv's lead. I get it now. Everyone infected by the Thuk Chi parasite is connected to the Vifeng nightclub Deech Min, the club owner Bach Duong, and the parasite that Deech Pham crushed. Han Qian paused, pointed at the man on the ground, and continued. And this guy too, all of them come from the nightclub. They're all tied to one person, the temporary captain of the Shenlin City team. One Zhao Hu. Han Qian suddenly said, "Damn, I know where Deech Pham's headed. Somewhere." Zhao Hu was chilling, sharing his thoughts. A girl doing yoga on the floor told Zhao Hu, who was playing Pick CB, "Captain Zhao is too much. I love it." The two were having fun working out when suddenly the door slammed open. Deech Pham barged in, calling out names. Zhao Hu Deech Pham stepped into the room and said, "Zhao Hu, you killed Deech Min to steal the captain spot and used corrosive parasites to infiltrate and suppress awakened geniuses and outstanding spirit contract holders." Zhao Hu quickly straightened his clothes to face him. Deech Pham shouted, carrying such sins and still daring to roam free outside the law. Zhao Hu, sweating nervously, tried to play it cool and said, "You're Deech Min's useless little brother, right? What's up, your wife's dead, but instead of hiding and licking your wounds, you come here to stir trouble." Deech Pham recalled that painful memory and blurted out, "It's all your fault. Today I'm settling this for good." Zhao Hu shrugged and said, "You can't blame me. If you blame anyone, blame them for weak resolve and bad luck. And hey, you're standing here wasting words on me. Aren't you scared of my reinforcements?" While they were talking, Zhao Hu's goons rushed in, ambushing Deech Pham from behind. One shouted, "Captain Zhao, are you okay?" Zhao Hu ordered his men. This guy tried to assassinate a key member of the guard team. Then Zhao Hu yelled, "Kill him, deal with him on the spot." Zhao Hu's men shouted back in unison. Deech Pham knew he was in deep trouble, so he decided to go all in with them. He yelled, "The villain's accusing me. I'm going all out against you right now." Han Qian and his team busted through the door like God-sending saviors in a crisis. Zhao Hu's goons were blasted back 10 feet by Han Qian's power, screaming and groaning. Zhao Hu, sweating bullets, seeing his old rival, muttered, "Han Qian Dik. Pham can't believe his brother is right in front of him," and said, "Han Qian, you guys are here." Han Qian looked back at him with a fond gaze. "Not coming. Are you seriously gonna just stand there and watch him get surrounded alone?" Deech. Pham looked dumbfounded, scratching his head in confusion. On Trio Ho's side, his henchmen were losing patience. Watching the two stall, one of them spoke up. "Captain Han, are you sure you want to collude with this assassin that's just asking for death?" Han Qian calmly replied. "This is a grudge between me and Trio Ho. Anyone who doesn't want to die, step aside." "Of course," he answered with high morale. "A little hesitation won't stop this doomed guy." Trio Ho's gang charged like moths to a flame, yelling loud. Then Dai Henchin snorted lightly, smirking, "Villains don't deserve much talk." The outcome, before Trio Ho's men could even throw a punch, Han Qian's lightning-fast fist landed square on a cheek. Everything happened in less than a minute. When Han Qian landed, Trio Ho's henchmen were already sprawled out on the ground. Deech Pham stared dumbfounded at the scene, saying, "Haven't seen you in a bit, and your fighting skills have seriously leveled up." Li Lin pointed at Triu Ho, who was trying to crawl away, telling Han Qin Triu Ho's about to make a run for it. Han Qin finished Li Lin's sentence. He won't get away. Blocking Triu Ho's escape, he said. Surrender your life. Triu Ho, seeing no way out, only managed to say one word. Moments later, he finally felt Han Qin's electric spark punch. Even with blood gushing from his mouth, Triu Ho angrily spat, "Damn it, you dare." Then he collapsed to the floor. A bug flew out from his mouth. Han Qin glanced at the strange creature, muttering, "So, that's what it was?" The main guy threw a punch at the bug. He looked at the big hole he'd just made in the wall and wondered, "Isn't that the queen?" Triu Ho's henchman freaked out Han Qin. "You dare kill Captain Triu? So bold. Don't you realize the Protectorate is the biggest gang in Thumlam City? That's the city lord of the biggest gang in Thumlam." Han Qin suddenly realized the situation, muttering, "We're screwed. Looks like we fell right into their trap." Half an hour earlier, in some office, the city lord's secretary held a stack of papers, saying, "The city lord has a document that needs your signature." The man sitting in the chair called the city lord finally turned around. On his head was a strange creature wagging its tail. The city lord looked at the secretary and said, "Oh, hand over the document." The secretary trembled, staring at him, stammering out, "City lord, on your face is—" Then a terrified scream rang out, probably from the secretary. Meanwhile, Han Qin told everyone, "I've got a bad feeling about this." The main guy said, "The three of us need to get out of here fast, find the master. The master can help us deal with Ha Yuvi's nightmare." Ha Yuvi disagreed, adding, "No, whatever happens, I'll face it with you." Han Qin grabbed Ha Yuvi's hand, saying, "There's no time, let's go." Meanwhile, the city lord stepped out. He handed the papers to the guards and said, "Issue the order. Thumlam Protectorate Alliance Team. 527. Han Qin is suspected of assassinating the captain representing the 1 million tigers. Arrest him citywide." The guards acknowledged. "Yes, sir." The city lord chuckled evilly, muttering to himself, "Didn't expect the bait to be swallowed so fast." But the big fish still took the hook. Han Qin turned his back to everyone in the room, smiling. "We gotta separate Loi from UV and the others, or they'll get dragged down too." Suddenly, he heard a strange noise, looked around curiously, and said, An old man with a—" His hair was pure white as he stood on a massive flying saucer, looking down at Han Qin from above. He clasped his hands behind his back and boldly said, "Han Qin, you killed an important member of the organization. Aren't you going to surrender already?" Then he shouted loudly and knelt down. After the shout, an invisible force struck down, causing Han Qin to stagger. The scene shifted to a picturesque grassland, where a small camp was set up, probably for resting in the shade. Inside, Li Thudong was leisurely enjoying his tea. He spoke to the mysterious figure opposite him. Since they were old friends, why hide like this? The person across wore a black scarf, looking very enigmatic. He spoke up. "You don't seem to be in any rush." Li Thudong paused, then asked, "Rush? Why rush?" "I have to," the man in black replied immediately, "because the agent you chose is trapped and the evidence is clear. He'll be publicly executed tomorrow." Hearing this, Li Thudong's attitude shifted instantly, gripping the untouched teacup tightly. He seemed a bit annoyed and said, "Do you really have to target an old friend like that?" A fierce beast seemed ready to awaken inside him. The man in the black scarf boldly pointed at his face and exclaimed, "Even if you kill this quantum state clone of mine, it's useless. The old boss prepared many quantum state clones like this for each of us, didn't he?" Li Thudong's expression changed rapidly. He smiled kindly and replied, "See, I completely forgot about that." He continued, "No worries, there are even more surprises ahead. Just wait and see." The man in black said nothing in response, and gradually disappeared. Lam Kin Huiyan stepped forward, looking serious. Bowing to Li Thudong, "Master, should I step in to save the junior disciple?" Li Thudong gazed at the steaming cup of tea and answered, "My disciple has let them cause chaos in the organization for a long time, but still hasn't found the mastermind, so we can't catch them. I thought using Triu Ho to bait Han Qin would hold me back, but why can't Han Qin be the bait I set?" Li Thudong looked down at his reflection in the still tea, a mysterious smile flickering on his lips. His deep voice said, "Life's like chess. Every game is new. Han Qian has made it tough for you." Back to Han Qian's situation. He was blinded and locked in an empty room. The old man with white hair glared at him. He angrily shouted, "Still won't confess?" Han Qian looked up calmly and replied, "Confess, what crime did I commit?" Hearing this, the old man punched him hard in the chest and yelled, "Shut your mouth!" The strong punch made Han Qian groan in pain. The old man didn't relent, grabbed Han Qian's head and said sternly, "Snap out of it. Li Thu and that guy can't save you now. You only have 2 choices left." Before he could continue, Han Qian cut in. "First, join us. You don't need to care who we are. Just know that Li Thu and that guy represent the past, but we represent the future. Second, you can keep going like this, but after tomorrow you'll be cut in half by the blade." He stared straight at him and shouted, "So the level 4 corrosive insects were deliberately exposed by you guys to be discovered and brought to Tamlam City?" The old man replied, "You can think of it that way. To us, the Trung tribe isn't the enemy. If used right, they become powerful tools. Nothing is impossible." Han Qian smiled and said, "So that's how it is. Now I know what to choose." The old man was puzzled. "Oh, so what's your choice?" Han Qian replied, "I pick the third option." Annoyed by his flippant answer, the old man growled, "You're asking for trouble." The next day in a huge square, a giant screen hanging outside a building replayed the report of Han Qian's arrest. Breaking news. Captain of Team 527 Han Qian has betrayed the organization, murdering a key figure within it. He is set to be executed today. From the house across the street, the city lord sat back casually watching the news. His soldier stood behind him, reporting, "Everything's ready. When the time comes, we'll carry it out immediately." Then he asked about something else. "Have those 3 escapees from yesterday been caught yet?" The soldier, sweating nervously, hesitated before answering. "Not yet. They're very cunning. Most likely hiding out in that mansion. The city lord raised his hand to stop him, frowning. "Keep searching." The soldier bowed his head. "Yes, sir." The city lord looked toward Han Qian, about to be executed, and curiously asked, "How can he stay so calm at a time like this? Does he have an ace up his sleeve?" Han Qian scanned his surroundings, filled with doubts himself. His master hinted, "Let them do their thing. They'll protect me from all trouble." Why would he say that? Could he have known everything beforehand? Setting up a trap, the crowd gathered to watch the execution buzzed with chatter. The guy with blue hair said, "Isn't that the Spirit Pact Master who awakened SS-level talent earlier?" The blonde panicked. "Oh man, how did he end up betraying the city?" The redhead chimed in. "I heard the authorities forced him to work for the Alliance. That's why he's full of hatred and has killed many people." The city lord stood atop a tall building, shouting to the crowd, "Greetings, citizens of Deep Blue City." The crowd stirred. "It's the city lord himself here in person." He continued, "Today is a day of both joy and anger. We're losing a young genius. He was supposed to become a brilliant Spirit Pact Master with limitless potential. But personal grudges drove him to mercilessly kill countless innocents. Not only that, he tried to collude with the insect clan to disrupt the peace of Deep Blue City." People said, "Does someone like that even deserve to live?" The crowd shouted in unison, "Kill him! Kill him!" Seeing their agreement, the city lord smiled with satisfaction. "Han Qian, your death is sealed today." Then he yelled, "Execute!" The execution guard responded, "Yes, sir." At the same time, he pulled the guillotine lever. The massive blade dropped. Suddenly, from afar, someone pressed a button, stopping the blade from falling on Han Qian's neck. The guard panicked. "What the hell, is the machine broken?" Seeing this, the city lord angrily shouted, "Who dares to disrupt the execution, step forward." Thung Taidin pushed through the crowd bravely and said, "City Lord Han Qian saved my life. I don't agree with your punishment." The city lord snapped in irritation. "Thung Taidin, even merchants want to meddle in this." Many others also spoke up, "We don't agree either." Scene shifts to a villa where Li Thudong sat. Hung Trat, a man in the black headscarf, appeared beside him. He said, "Han Qian's been taken to the execution block. You lost." Li Thudong set down his half-finished tea and said, "The game isn't over yet." He added, "Don't jump to conclusions too soon." Hung Tra challenged, "Then just wait and see." After speaking, he vanished. The phone on the tea table rang with a voice from the other end. "Old Li, He's moving too fast. We failed to catch him in pursuit, just a hair away from uncovering who's behind him. Who's there? What a bummer. Li Thu rested his chin on his hand, asking the person on the phone, could that old merchant really be him? The other person immediately replied, "Don't talk nonsense. If I were the mastermind, would I listen to you and let the merchant's hall load the execution platform, Li? Calm down and keep talking." "All right, let's get serious. Any leads?" the old merchant asked. "The organization behind it has found a trace. It's called Breaking the Case." Back at the execution ground, after someone sided with Han Qian, the crowd went wild. "Oh man, someone actually dares to snatch the execution." Someone said, "The merchant has intervened. This ain't simple." The merchant's hall tried to explain, "Everyone, you're all blinded by Kang Zhuan. Han Qian isn't a prisoner. He's truly a man of the people." She pointed to one side and told the crowd, "Take a look over there." On the screen, a replay showed Han Qian standing up, introducing himself. "My name is Han Qian. Qian means battle. I became a spirit tactician, not just to survive, but to ensure the survival of humanity and our nation." He said proudly, "We gotta wipe out these pests. We can't let them into the city to harm others," seeing that people started to waver. Han Qian seems really patriotic. Someone who's all about protecting us. Could he really be a traitor? The old man who arrested Han Qian suddenly appeared, shouting at everyone, "Quiet down!" Everyone was shocked to see him. Some said, "That's some serious pressure." Others wondered, "Who is he?" The old man looked fierce, his voice cold and sharp. "Han Qian is the target of the case breakers. No one here is allowed to interfere." Then he unleashed a massive fiery punch with a roar. "Today, you're definitely gonna die." A powerful force stopped his hand. The punch exploded mid-air. The old man was stunned, eyes wide, saying, "What the hell?" That power kept coming, throwing him back. The old man took a painful hit and cried out, "Sector A!" He couldn't react in time, his face twisted in fear and pain. The crowd below gasped at the scene, curious, asking, "What just happened?" Someone answered, "I don't know. I couldn't see who threw the punch." The merchant's hall seemed to spot a stranger standing atop a distant high-rise. Seeing he was noticed, the stranger immediately jumped down near the city lord, looking pissed. He charged at Han Qian, ready to strike, yelling, "Damn it, no one's saving you today." Han Qian seemed to realize something. He muttered, "The teacher's made his move. The time has come." The city lord threw a punch with a curse. "Go to hell!" The punch exploded with a huge blast smoke and flames everywhere, but Han Qian easily dodged backward. The city lord gritted his teeth. Too fast. Han Qian didn't back down, rushing at him, slamming a punch into the city lord's face, causing another explosion. This punch was thrown with serious force. The city lord fell back in pain. Suddenly, a beast inside him appeared. Han Qian quickly grabbed the strange insect-like creature and crushed it, blood splattering. The people around were freaked out, wondering, what the hell is that? Some kind of insect beast. Han Qian held the insect high and shouted, "Everyone, this is a fourth-stage T-type parasite. It infects humans, causing chaos and trying to disrupt our bonds. You might not believe me, but everything I've done is to protect humanity." Some started whispering about the city lord who was just taken down by the parasite. Unexpectedly showing up again, the city lord looked really weird. Someone said it's true, thanks to Han Qian stepping in just in time. Otherwise, the aftermath would have been unimaginable. Li Thudong suddenly appeared and asked, "How's everyone feeling after this experience?" He continued, "Can you sense the line between life and death among us?" Han Qian quickly replied, "It feels damn refreshing to have the master handle the problem. But if there's a next time, I hope I'm the one leading the troops." Li Thudong was really pleased with his disciple, smiling and saying, "You did great. The main boss is dead, and the remaining real insect monsters have been found. You've done a huge favor." The master and disciple kept discussing. The master gently said, "It's just a shame you went too hard earlier, leaving no clues about the breakthrough." Han Qian was curious, "What's a breakthrough?" Li Thudong explained to his disciple, "A secret organization has been hiding within the city guards. So far, we haven't gathered any more info." Hearing this, Han Qian was surprised and said didn't expect there'd be a group hiding right among us. Ditch Pham from the crowd informed Han Qian the captain found Bok Shuang's body. Hearing that, Han Qian fell silent, thinking for a moment, then asked where Ditch Pham replied. This incident claimed a total of 101 lives. She and the others' bodies were frozen, ready for a sea funeral. The scene shifts to a vast ocean. This is the place Dichfam mentioned. On the water, numerous coffins floated slowly, including Bach Huang's. Everyone fell silent, the atmosphere turning heavy. Han Qin whispered, shocked Bak Shuang, "I couldn't protect you." "Well, I'm sorry." Meanwhile, Bak Shuang lay still in her coffin. Suddenly, her face turned pale, bruises spreading all over her body. Then she snapped awake, eyes wide open. Scene changes to autumn, in month 5. The weather cool and pleasant, trees shedding leaves for the season. In a restaurant where Han Qian and his master sat, Li Thudong spoke Han Qin after the last insect monster incident. "You all broke through to the 3rd stage, right?" He replied, "That's right, master." He also mentioned the girl sitting next to him. "Lin Chan has reached the 3rd stage, catching up with us. She's Lai Lin Chan, a spirit contract of SSS-RANK 3rd stage, with the form of an ancient mythical divine weapon. The divine farmer's divine nature refining core holding the creation of all living things." Lin Chan said, "UV has awakened more melodies. I'll have to train harder from now on." The system displayed info HiUV spirit contract SSS-RANK, 3rd stage, form of an ancient mythical divine weapon. Fu Shi's phoenix, divine nature sword, heart. Phoenix, night. Heaven's 4 symbols. Niplin Tu's soul melody. 1st stage battle break melody. Qingxin's dragon wall melody. 2nd stage pleasing wind. Spring wildfire. 6. Ding thunder face. 3rd stage deliberate sun damage spear. Tidin sitting nearby also spoke up, Han Qian. "Wait for me to awaken. Then you can sign a contract with me too." Han Qian replied, I can only sign with spirit contracts that have divine nature because I can help those best." Tai Ding agreed. "All right, hope I can get divine nature," Master Lai asked Han Qian after the 3rd stage. "There's no city left behind worth training in. What's your plan?" he answered. "I want to keep getting stronger on my own step by step, overcoming the insect disaster, and carve a path from this apocalypse." The master smiled and said, "Then right now I'll contact Ngui Khan. Tomorrow you'll be flown to the frontline battlefield for training. The 1st combat zone is gearing up for a major battle." At the end of the year with the insect tribe, the master turned to talk about the 2 girls sitting at the same table. "However, since this is training, they can't go with you. The cultivation methods of the Spirit Tamer and the Spirit Tamer Master differ. The master arranged a better place for them to go." Han Qin was satisfied hearing the master's assignment and stood up abruptly. He clasped his hands and responded. Everyone followed the master's arrangement. At the massive frontline battlefield, continuous gunfire from several machine gun nests showed the intense situation. Cannon volleys fired non-stop fighting against giant serpent-like monsters. Many were injured and loaded onto a pickup truck. A commander shouted, "Hurry up, evacuate the wounded immediately." Old Zhang appeared and said to the person in front, "Tionyai, why are you back?" Tionyai looked annoyed and quickly replied to Old Zhang, "Your team lost 3 people and you ran back. You still have the nerve to ask me." Old Zhang was confused and asked again, "What nonsense is that? A standard squad has only 5 people. You lost 3, can't you wait for reinforcements? Your team is missing only 2 and you're already waiting for backup. Aren't you ashamed?" Hearing this, Tionyai got even angrier. He raised his fist and shouted, "Can I be like you guys? I came here to do my mission. See a mission with honor." Suddenly, a squadron of planes flew overhead. The roar of the engines scared everyone below. Han Qian appeared from the plane, stepped forward and reported to the 2 Tionyai. "Hello, I'm Han Qian." "A new recruit?" Tionyai asked in surprise. "You're alone." "Where's your spirit, Tamer?" Han Qian calmly replied. "Not here, left at home." Tionyai gritted his teeth and said, "Are you kidding? This is a battlefield. You came here alone looking for death." Old Zhang spoke up. "Captain Tiu, you should calm down. This young guy isn't someone to mess with. Judging by his outfit, he's clearly not from the nearby Spirit Tamer recruitment camp. I don't get why he looks like some rich city kid." Tionyai was pretty annoyed and blurted out, "You think this is a playground? Some pampered rich kid with soft skin? What a pain." Tionyai frowned and asked Old Zhang's opinion. "I have a suggestion. can we temporarily assign this rich kid to your squad? Old Jang didn't hesitate and immediately said, no way. Absolutely not. You promised he'd choose first, so why back out now? See? Get rid of this annoying brat. Tiunyai helplessly accepted the scolding. Fine, he said to Han Qian. Stay behind me and come meet the other teammates. Han Qian replied. All right. Tiunyai softened his tone and asked, by the way, what's your name? Spirit, Tamer. Master, 3rd rank, Han Qian. They introduced themselves. I'm Tiunyai, 4th rank Spirit, Tamer Master, and your squad leader. According to regulations, you'll be accepted and join our team. Leading Han Qian to where the teammates stood, he said, these are your teammates, Tai the Fuang and Tich Tiu Tien. The girl named Tich Tiu Tien seemed annoyed, grimacing as she complained, man, this mission's got me all soaked. She struggled to take off her outer jacket. Stuck. Seeing Han Qian, she didn't hesitate to ask for help. New guy, come help me get this off. He was caught off guard but quickly agreed. All right, and went over to help her by the glowing fire warming the air. The girl smiled and thanked him. Han Qian shyly replied, no need to be polite. She turned to ask the team leader, is this the new teammate? Why is he alone? Could it be that he's carrying a super professional spirit contract transformation? Han Zhan introduced himself. I'm Han Zhan. First time meeting you all. I brought some small gifts for everyone. Hope you'll accept them. He tossed out items that left everyone stunned. Comments flew. Is this a 6th grade defense armor? Damn, this gift is priceless. Everyone eagerly accepted. Thanks. We won't be formal then. Only the captain refused the gift, saying, I don't need it. I'm a mecha control specialist. No need for armor. In his mind, Han Zhan evaluated silently. Definitely, a rich city kid not only with a space ring for storage, but also 6th grade armor. Wonder which clan he's from. Seriously, he's way too generous. Xiao Yai told the newcomer, I'm off to get the mission and supplies. You guys start prepping. Han Zhan nodded, watching the captain leave while the others stayed chatting. Is Captain Xiao really a mecha control specialist? Tai Shifang spoke up. Yeah, our old Xiao lost his spirit contract in a frontline battle, so they set him up with a second career so he can keep piloting mechas. A girl added, but what he despises most are those entitled nobles who just ride on their family's fame. Suddenly realizing she'd blabbed about Han Zhan, she shyly covered her mouth and apologized from behind him. Sorry, I forgot you're the captain who brought the supplies back. Cutting off the talk, someone said, enough chit-chat, get ready to roll out for the mission. Han Zhan asked, what's our mission? Xiao Yai replied, mission total extermination of the spawn. Han Zhan took a supply bag, puzzled by the term spawn extermination. Xiao Yai explained seriously. You all know about the Iseki Serpent clan, right? They reproduce insanely fast. Their troop growth on the battlefield is 10,000 times ours. Even though we've raised our combat casualty rate to 100 to 1, it still can't keep up with the Iseki's rapid troop increase. That's why over a month ago the first war zone and the Iseki elite got stuck in a never-ending stalemate on the front line. But then the sudden strong comeback of the first war zone commander, Wei Qing, over a month ago broke this deadlock. Xiao Yai recalled the battle against the Serpent clan. Telling the story, Commander Wei led a solo charge breaking through the Iseki's supply line, causing combat casualty rates to spike horrifically to 100,000. Compared to Wei Qing's sudden strike, although it caught the Iseki off guard, 4 8th-grade Serpent Kings quickly wrapped him up in fierce combat. Su Dao had already left the battlefield to fight elsewhere. His face burned with fierce determination. Xiao Yai clenched his fist and continued. The latest mission order came from Warzone 2. They used the innate talents of spirit contract masters to calculate the locations of dozens of serpent nests. The fastest and closest mobile units in each area will be responsible for destroying these nests. He stepped forward and told his teammates, time's tight, let's move out. Han Zhan answered, got it. On the fiery battlefield, a strange machine appeared. It was the robot piloted by Xiao Yai. 3 teammates behind him warned, stay sharp, we're close to the target. Damn, Han Qian seemed to spot something and told everyone, look, I think we've arrived. What he saw was a long, milky white cloth hanging from a tree. Someone asked, what the heck is that? Captain Tiu recognized it as the shed skin of the Iseki snake tribe. Every time they level up, they shed once. Suddenly, Han Qian shouted, "This ain't good! Those sneaky Isaki snakes hid their eggs inside this skin." Just as Han Qian said, tons of eggs fell from the snake skin. Tionyai checked the robot's control panel and said, "The snake's 6,730 meters long with millions of eggs stuck to it. This has got to be the snake nest, our mission target." Suddenly, a crack appeared on one of the eggs. Tai the Fuang and Tich Tiu Tian both asked, "What's that sound?" Their faces showed worry. Unexpectedly, all the eggs started cracking open. The terrifying noise shook everything. Everyone covered their ears, annoyed. The sound came with a weird wave that reached Tionyai inside the robot, tossing him and the robot far away. Tionyai shouted, "Ouch!" Han Qian saw this and rushed to pull him back, yelling, "Watch out!" Tai the Fuang and Tich Tiu Tian could only watch, calling out anxiously for their teammate. Captain Han Qian saw Han Qian rushing to save him. Tionyai yelled, "You idiot, get going! Focus on the mission, I don't need saving!" Han Qian grabbed a protruding part of the robot with all his strength, gritted his teeth, and shouted, "Ah!" Then he threw with all his might, yelling. Both the robot and Tionyai inside flew up and landed safely, avoiding a deadly fall into the abyss. Seeing Tionyai safe but Han Qian missing Tai, the Fuang and Tich Tiu Tian ran to the cliff, shouting, "Han Qian!" Tionyai was still stunned from the throw, wondering, how is that even possible? How does he have that kind of strength? Tai. The Fuang turned back, worried, saying, "Captain, that cliff is super high. Han Qian definitely would have died from the fall." The robot started clicking. Captain Tiu anxiously said, "Sorry, it's all my fault." Suddenly, a trembling hand appeared, gripping the cliff. It was Han Qian. He struggled to climb up, reassuring everyone. "I'm not dead yet. Pull me up quick." Tai, the Fuang, and Tich Tiu Tian helped him up, relieved, and asking, "Han Qian, you're awesome. You didn't die. We were freaking out back there." Tionyai also came over, pretending to scold. "You're such an idiot, risking yourself for me. Was it worth it? Plus, our main mission is to destroy the snake nest. You should focus on that instead of wasting time on me." Han Qian wasn't annoyed and just obeyed. "Got it, Captain." The awakened snake started hissing and slithering forward. The number of snakes was insane. Han Qian looked uneasy and said, "No way. Those are the baby snakes of the tribe they've hatched." Fearful info came through, a swarm of blue-skinned, red-eyed snakes. Each one is huge, heading straight for us. Captain Tionyai warned the team to be careful. Everyone started getting scared. Tai the Fuang said, "So many snakes." Next to him, Tich Tiu Tian looked panicked and asked, "Are we gonna die here?" The snake tribe charged, bearing fangs and lunging. Tionyai saw the danger and quickly told everyone, "You guys run, I'll hold them off from behind." Tich Tiu Tian frowned, sizing up the situation. "There's too many, we can't escape." Suddenly, Han Qian clenched his fist. On his finger he wore a strange red ring. A mysterious power radiated from the ring, forming a dome that surrounded them. The snakes stood still, watching his moves. Tionyai went from one shock to another. Cho's eyes widened, seeing the snakes frozen in place. They stopped, and the entire snake tribe didn't charge anymore. They lay flat on the ground. Everyone was stunned. "What's going on?" "Those snake packs seem to be showing submission to us," Han Qian quickly shouted. "Captain, why are you just standing there? Burn them already." Tiunian hurriedly replied, "Yeah, got it." Then he controlled the robot to spray fire. The blazing flames surrounded the snakes, heating them up until they screamed in pain. The fire spread, lighting up the whole forest. After the danger passed, the team gathered to check on each other. Tai the Fuang asked curiously, "Han Qian, what did you just do?" Han Qian turned and answered, "Just used some gear to suppress them." Tich Tiu Tian praised, "That's badass." Tionyai popped his head out to announce, "Done." The robot stopped spraying fire, but the flames still burned the snakes. Captain Tiu also asked Han Qian, "Who the hell are you really? You're totally different from those rich kids." Han Qian smiled and explained, "Like you see, I'm no hidden master, just a level 3 spirit tamer." Hearing that, Tionyai joked, "Yeah, right." Suddenly, the robot's control panel flashed a warning. Tionyai frowned and said, Han Qian found it strange and asked the captain, "What's up?" Tionyai reported that the mission completion for the absolute annihilation was far from ideal. Counting all teams, less than 10 finished it. Tich Tiu Tian praised, Luckily, we had Han Qin's help, otherwise we'd definitely have failed. The captain continued. All known snake tribe reinforcements are marked on the battle map. The newly hatched baby snakes must pass through certain routes to join the battlefield. He turned to discuss with his new teammate. Han Qin, you have a crazy power that made millions of snakes submit. If we hold those key routes, we can wipe them out before they join the fight. What do you think Han Qin warned? Can we really kill them all? I don't know, but if we don't run now, we'll definitely get wiped out. Ahead might be even more dangerous. Waiting for them is a terrifying snake that hasn't appeared yet. That's a 5th rank Isaki snake tasked with guarding the snake nest. Tai. The Fong looked back in shock and said, "That's the snake nest guardian." Tunyai furrowed his brows and quietly said, Han Qin was the first to react. He rushed running the opposite way, then turned and yelled, "What are you standing there for? Run now." The other two hurried after him. Tai the Fong said tensely, "Damn, we can't beat this guy at all." Tik Tutin wasn't as worried, just said simply, "Run." Tunai fired at the front and told everyone, "Go ahead, I'll hold them back." The giant snake got hit 2 or 3 times and roared terrifyingly, shaking the earth and sky. Han Qin turned back and called the captain. Behind the snake quickly opened its mouth to swallow the captain's engine. Tio's eyes widened as he bit down hard, shattering everything. Tio Nai was thrown off the snake. He clenched his teeth, lying on the ground covered in wounds, letting out a soft groan. Tai. The Fwang was shocked seeing this and stammered. The team leader shouted, the snake growled and then opened its huge mouth toward the two of them, without hesitation biting down. Around them, Tich Tio Tien and Tai the Fwang quickly appeared with a golden sphere protecting both. Tai they. Fwang looked at the shield protecting him in disbelief. Tich Tio Tien happily said it was the defensive gear of the 6th rank that Han Qin gave us kicking in. Tai the Fwang clenched his fist and smiled brightly. That's great. We're saved. The snake still wouldn't back down. It opened its mouth and sprayed a liquid-like acid at the shield. That liquid unexpectedly pierced through the shield and fell straight onto their heads, catching them off guard. Their bodies were instantly corroded and vanished like dust. Tai the Fwang only managed to let out a shocked as blood stained the air red. Han Qin's eyes widened, staring speechless at the horrifying scene. The snake quickly attacked him too, baring its fangs and hissing at Han Qin. His eyes flashed golden yellow instantly. He gritted his teeth and muttered, "Damn it." He pulled back his arm, ready to fight flames of gold flickering around him. He puffed out his chest with fierce energy, a fiery aura forming above his head. Han Qin swiftly jumped to dodge the giant snake's attack. He shouted loudly, "Long Tuang Thao," then quickly summoned a weapon from thin air. Han Qin yelled Fenglai and aimed the weapon straight at the big snake's head. Suddenly, the snake sprouted a sharp spike, then lunged it straight at him, leaving a long streak of light. The spike collided with the aura around Han Qin, but couldn't penetrate the protective layer. He was knocked back, grunting softly. A flash of light fell from the sky, hitting the ground and causing a small tremor. Sitting on the ground clutching his knee, he muttered, "Ah! This 5th rank guardian is way too strong. I can't face it head on at all." The snake opened its huge mouth, ready to snap at his head. Then a pale blue beam suddenly shot down onto its head, making it freeze and widen its blood-red eyes. The snake went motionless. The light above it faded, revealing a long sword stuck there. Han Qin stared ahead in shock, barely believing his eyes. A slender pair of legs gently landed on the snake's head, right next to where the sword was plunged. The girl with blue hair stood steadily, swaying softly in the wind. Han Qin clasped his hands and bowed, saying, "Thanks for saving my life, senior." This was Gong Duong Kan. She raised her hand to her face and smiled softly. Then she looked at him and said, "You're not bad, little bro, right up my alley. But I'm no senior to you or anyone here. I'm from the extreme evil city, the place you spirit mages always talk about, Liu Fuang Chi Palace." Han Qin immediately recalled the people he'd met and thought to himself, Liu Fuang Chi City. Extreme Evil City is mostly made up of exiles rejected by other nations, all sent to a massive concentration camp, also known as the Lower City Zone. He looked at Gong Duong Kan and thought further. Their evil means they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want in life. Is she really like that? At the same time, the system interface quickly popped up. Gong Duong Kan Spirited Contract Level SSS Rank 8, Form Extreme Mutation Trait, Female War Goddess. Sweat poured down his face after reading the info. He thought in shock female war goddess rank 8. Suddenly she tiptoed and jumped up, appearing behind him in a flash. "Close your eyes," she said. "What do you call the tune you just played? I can feel every cell in my body getting supercharged. Hell, I even feel like I could punch through a giant snake with one hit." She smiled and said, surprising him, "I'm gonna make you my personal battle assistant." Han Xin raised his hand to stop her and said, "Wait up." Gong Duangkan raised an eyebrow, asking why a small third-tier spirit contract master would dare resist. He shouted, "My mission isn't done yet. I can't leave." She calmly replied, "Oh yeah. What if I force you to come with me?" Han Xin pressed a knife to his own neck and said, "Then I'll choose to end it myself." Duangkan stepped back a bit, a hint of helplessness flashing across his face, saying, "Didn't expect you to be this stubborn. Tell me, what would it take for you to come with me?" He fell silent, staring at her, thinking, "This woman seems to like me a lot. Why not use that to get her to help me finish my mission?" Then he raised his index finger and said, "If you want me to go, you gotta fight alongside me against the newly hatched Iseki frenzy bugs on the battlefield and wipe them out completely." Gong Duangkan crossed her arms, looking down, saying, "I thought you'd ask for something crazy." "Fine, I'm in." Han Xin quickly pulled out a map and said, "Here's the snake nest layout." He unfolded the map, marking the locations of the big snake nests, his voice steady. "Recently, there are 3 spots perfect for ambushing baby snakes, which can support the main battlefield from the side, coordinating with the main force of the Great Ha to finish the decisive all-out attack." She smirked and replied, "No problem." Suddenly, behind Gong Duangkan appeared a swirling black vortex mixed with red light. A strange creature's head appeared behind her. She cried out in pain. "This isn't good. The dark magic in my wound is activating." Han Qian saw her acting weird and immediately asked, "What's wrong?" Her eyes were slowly overtaken by black energy. She yelled at him, "Run!" Then her whole body got surrounded by thick black energy flying toward Han Qian at a terrifying speed. He raised his hand to block and quietly said, "She's got that demonic aura." Han Qian soared into the air, using his weapon to shine light down on Gong Duangkan. The light touched her, piercing through her body, calming her down. Thanks to that light, the demonic energy surrounding her was pushed back and gradually faded away. Gong Duangkan looked at herself in shock and said, "All right." She looked at Han Xin and asked, "Did you do that?" He replied, "The pure heart powder heals and suppresses. It's no big deal." Then he moved behind her, looking at the wound, and asked, "What about this one?" She frowned slightly and explained, "I got hurt by a 9th-tier insect emperor. At that time, though I barely escaped death, the wound stayed inside me. That 9th-tier insect emperor is called the Suppression Chi entity. Its power can control my body, putting me into a near-death state." Han Qian's eyes widened in surprise. 9th-tier insect emperors are that dangerous. He pointed at the wound and asked, "Mind if I take a look?" Gong Duangkan smiled slyly and said, "You're brave daring to mess with my private stuff." Then she laughed and said, "Fine. After you check it out, I'll gouge your eyes out." Han Qian gently touched the wound on her back and said, "The wound isn't deep. It can be treated." Duangkan blushed, thinking, did he really just touch it like that? His face turned serious, still healing, the recovery light spreading. No one said a word in that tense moment. Suddenly, she let out a painful scream. "Ah!" The wound on her back slowly started to shrink and fade away. He softly said that the calm mind skill could suppress but not completely heal. "Try this," he said as a swift spirit blade shot up. Gong Yangjin looked at it and smiled, saying, "You really keep surprising me. That's what a spirit cultivator does." And with 2 spirit blades, the blades quickly sucked in the surrounding air. He formed a hand seal and shouted, "Life!" The spirit creation enveloped her whole body. Gong Yangjin trembled slightly. She hugged herself and moaned, "Ah, that feels so good." He quickly waved his hand, saying, "Not bad." The wound was already half healed. She excitedly asked, "Can you try again?" "It really feels amazing, Hanjan." He quickly explained, "Try again. You saw just now I used up almost all the blood and flesh from the Trung tribe's gift. Only then could I get spirit energy. To use it again now, I'd need a whole pile of blood and flesh like that." She smiled again and asked, "Aren't we supposed to go kill the Iseki larvae?" Then she grabbed his hand. They quickly flew up. "Let's go now." After a while, the whole forest fell silent. Above, a drone was scouting every spot below. Wei Qing spotted something and immediately called in, reporting a large number of baby snakes flooding into a narrow alley. People in the control room hurried to the console, whispering nervously. "This is bad news. The Iseki snake nests were discovered way too late." The blonde man pointed at the screen, saying, "What about Quan Shan? If he and the spirit cultivator with the mountain-moving talent were here, couldn't they block all 3 narrow passes?" Someone nearby crossed their arms and replied, "Quan Shan was already reassigned elsewhere." Lin Jingxuan stood behind, speaking grimly. "The Trung tribe really prepared well this time. They're forcing us to constantly send elite forces to the front lines. Though their moves are subtle, it's obvious and undeniable." His face turned, cold eyes flashing sharply. "Strange," he said. "Call the 8th battle zone and tell them to hold off on any other operations for now." Han Zhan and Gongyang Jin stood frozen on a high rock. Below, countless Iseki snakes swarmed back and forth. He exhaled and said, "Good thing we got here just in time." She smiled, stroking her sword. "Then let's get started." He looked at her and suggested, "Senior Gongyang Jin, let me go first." She asked, "Are you sure?" He quickly dashed down, leaving only the word "sure." A huge explosion erupted below. Gong. Yang Jin watched and thought, "This kid's really reckless, but with me here, he won't get hurt." He leaned to the side, muttering, "You bastard, you're dead." Then he stood up and fiercely attacked a snake's head. People in the control room were shocked. Watching the scene on screen, Long Jingxuan frowned and wondered, "Han Zhan, why did you rush in alone?" the silver-haired old man asked. The blonde man shouted, "That's suicide!" Han Zhan swung his arm, leaving countless dead snakes scattered around. He clenched his fist and said, "I was supposed to just train with the 8 chi fist, but there are too many snakes. I can't kill them all." Just then, 2 snakes appeared behind him, tongues flicking as they lunged and hissed. He saw them and thought, "I'm screwed." At that moment, Gongyang Jin shot up like a comet to help. A powerful spirit beam struck the ground right beside Han Zhan. Her strong voice rang out, "Get lost." Ken shot up like a comet to back him up. A powerful X-shaped beam struck the ground right next to Han Qian. Her voice. Her perfect body slowly descended, hair flowing wildly in the wind, eyes shining bright. With a fierce shout, another sword slash was unleashed. The snake instantly split in 2. Han Qian suddenly lunged forward, his eyes glowing bright gold. "Bao said thanks, but I can still fight." She smiled and said, "This kid's really reckless." Standing among the giant snakes, he radiated golden flames all around. Third Chi awakened. He yelled out loud. The 3rd stage of the 8 Chi Fist's life energy had been unlocked. He bent down and threw a punch forward, shouting, "Let me test my strength." The powerful light from his attack quickly took down most of the snakes. Gongyang Jin twitched his eyelids quietly, saying, "Interesting. To think he could unleash such force." She smiled, grabbed her sword and charged, saying, "I'm here to help you." Le Jingjing gasped, "Oh my god, that guy can hold off the snake nest." The man behind asked, "Who's that girl?" He frowned and answered, "The ruthless female demon of the 8 stages, Lin Ke." Gongyang Jin said, "A month ago, she fought against Nui Kun and was defeated by him and his wife working together. We thought she left the Asaki battlefield, but turns out she's still around. Plus, she's teaming up with the little junior brother. On this side, night had fallen, and the air reeked of death." Han Qian and Gongyang Jin stood amid countless dead Isaki snakes, their faces expressionless. He pointed at the cauldron overhead, saying, "Right now, how many corpses can be absorbed to unleash the life creation technique again?" Then he activated the artifact to absorb them all. He looked back and said, "Get ready, we might start healing soon." She nodded. The wound on her back emitted a dark, red-black demonic smoke swirling tightly. She stood straight, waiting while he quickly controlled the cauldron to begin healing, saying, "Start." Gongyang Jin cried out happily. A huge, sharp spike emerged from the wound on her back. He asked if he should pull out the black spike. She nodded slightly. "Pull it out." The cauldron strained to suck out the spike. The golden light shifted to a deep black. Gongyang Jin flushed with excitement, shouting,